Okay, we're here. Funk Flex, Fat Joe. Joe, how are you, my brother?
What's up, Flex?
I call Joe. I was like, Joe, man, I need to go through the timeline with you. I called him on the phone. He said, whatever you want to do, whatever you want to do. I'm taking you up on that, Joe.
Yeah, we here, man.
Okay, correct me if my starting point is wrong for Fat Joe. My first seeing you was Apollo Theater, and you were winning the MC battle every week. Am I saying that right?
You're right.
That's my first time seeing Fat Joe, and I wasn't sure where he was from. He was always 100 deep in the Apollo Theater, and he would win this MC battle on Wednesday nights. And then
I met Red Alert then.
That's where you met him?
First of all, I'm from Forest Projects. That's home of Digging in the Craze crew.
Okay.
So I knew Showbiz before he blew up. When he was DJ Rodney, he was the biggest DJ in my hood. Diamond D was another DJ, and Lord Finesse was like one of my close friends, and Finesse told me he was gonna rap and he was gonna blow up, and then he went and rapped and blew up. And
what year is this? What age? What year?
I don't even remember this. We was dumb young, so Finesse went and Red Alert was breaking Finesse, playing all his records on the radio. That's when it occurred to me that like, yo, this is possible. The dream, it could really, really happen. I watched Finesse do it. And then Diamond D's the one who convinced me, like, yo, Joe, let's go to the studio, make some demos, because I was wilding. Like, I was really wilding.
Now, when you say wilding, because I always hear you touch on that a little bit.
Yeah.
So, but
Man,
before...
I was probably the wildest dude in the Bronx.
Before the music.
Yeah.
Did you have a day job?
No way.
Have you before the music? Did you ever? You never had a day job. You never did McDonald's, Burger King, paper route, nothing in the Bronx.
The only job I ever had was a grocery store on 132nd that my uncle owned, and I couldn't do that. You know what I'm saying? Then I went from scalping tickets.
Okay.
Madison Square Garden, hustling, scalping tickets. And then I just started hustling.
What age are you here? Like I'm trying to paint a picture. Like what's out? What's going on?
I left my mother's house when I was 14 years old. Slick Rick's Great Adventures was #1 at the time.
And you moved out of your mother's house?
Out of my mother's house when I was 14 years old.
Where'd you go?
I started living in the Crackhead Hotel on Crotona.
But why'd you leave to go to the Crackhead Hotel?
Because I wanted to be on my own, and me and my father didn't get along, and I just started hustling. I wanted to make money. I wanted to hustle. You know, my father was real stubborn. He used to talk to me crazy and all that. And it was crazy. You know, I was just a baby. I was only 14. They was shooting heroin outside the door. They was busting people's heads open with 40.
What part of the Bronx is this?
It's still there. Crackhead Hotel, like across the street where the motor vehicle used to be on Crotona. Up by Dodge High School.
I know exactly.
That hotel.
Yes, sir.
They was shooting people. And the only thing that used to get me through the night is I used to listen to Slick Rick Great Adventure over and over on my Walkman.
That's 88. Gotcha.
88.
88.
So
88.
Yeah, so I was out there, and then I was just like, you know, just hustling, man, just trying to come up. And hustling. You know what I'm saying?
So when I saw you at the Apollo, you already knew Lord Finesse and everybody.
Yes, I did. And when you saw me at the Apollo, I actually retired from being a big boy in the game. So when you saw me in the Apollo, I had chains.
Because you had a lot of jewelry on.
I had chains down on my theory. I had Beamers and Benzes outside. I had all that. But I retired. I told everybody, yo, I'm going to rap. I'm going to change my life. And everybody laughed at me and was like, yo, you bugging out. You getting too much money out here. I was like, oh, no. And what had happened was too many of my friends was going to jail. 30 people from here, 30 people there from the feds with the RICO. So I was like, yo, I'm going to go to jail out here.
I remember early in your career, is it Tony Montana?
Yes.
You used to talk about it. I remember you used to talk about him a lot.
That was my best friend ever on earth. You know what I'm saying?
And what happened to him?
He got killed.
Okay.
He got killed, and they shot him in the back like 8 times up in the Bronx. And me and him, we was best friends ever. To this day, I haven't met a better friend.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And when he passed away, and he was like he was #1, I was #2.
Okay.
So, you know, I had to assume that #1 position after that.
Gotcha.
And then, and vice versa. If you talk many years on, when I discovered Big Pun, I knew that he was way better than me, so I assumed number 2
Got you.
and made him number 1 because I knew, yo, this guy's gonna take us to the victory. You know?
So now, so you're in the Bronx. Now, I remember seeing you at the Apollo, and then I remember, you know, turning on and hearing FloJo as a promo. It wasn't a song.
So after the Apollo Theater, Red Alert came up to me and was like, yo, you dope. I was like, oh my God, Red Alert. You know, Red Alert was you.
Everything.
You know what I'm saying? He was you. He's
Meant
from Master
everything.
Flex. He's Red Alert. So for
Everything.
you young people who don't know, as much as you hear Red Alert, that's how we heard from Flex.
Everything.
That's how we heard Red Alert. So when he got it, and he waited like 2 months before he played it. And I had the flu. I was in my house in Forest. When he played the promo, I jumped up to the ceiling and put the box on the window in the projects. It was like, yo, they playing my joint. They playing my joint. And then they played it so much that Chris Lighty approached me. And Chris Lighty was like, yo, B, I want you to be a rapper. I want to put you on. And when he came to put me on, I was on the block. So he was like, yo, you know what I'm saying? He coming through there like, yo, Joe, yo, this guy want to talk to you. And I'm on the streets, like, you know,
Making this bread.
trucks, whatever. And he was like, yo, B, I know who you is. And we used to see each other cross paths, but not for rap. You know what I'm saying? Like, I used to see him as the
He's from up there.
Violators.
Yeah.
No, he
They
used to
was-
put in work.
They was
Like,
enforcing. He was nice with his hands.
they was
too.
putting in work. And
Nice with his
before
hands.
my own eyes, I can only tell you what I seen. So when I seen him, I was like, yeah. He was like, yo, I got a new record label. I'm going through Relativity, and I want you to be one of my artists. It's me, it's you, Chi Ali, and the Beat Nuts. And that was it. That's how I got on. And FloJo went number 1 in the country.
But now, so it goes from a promo, and then I remember it goes to a song, right? So, but I remember you being part of Digging in the Crates,
Yes.
right? So how did that? Who exactly was in Digging in the Crates?
Wow. Showbiz and AG, Big L, Lord Finesse is like, he's our method man. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? He's our Lauryn Hill. You know what I'm saying? He's the leader of the Digging in the Crates. So you got Showbiz, AG, you got Big L, you got Buck Wild, you got OC from Brooklyn,
Okay.
and that's the Digging in the Crates crew.
And at the
That's all
time,
Big L.
and so at the time, Diamond D too, correct?
Diamond D, yeah, you right.
So now you form this crew. Now I do feel like, I mean, they were all making music and making records, and of course, you know, sometimes when you think of Lord Finesse, sometimes I refer to him, and I hope he doesn't take offenses. Sometimes to me he's Biggie without Puff. You know, he's that lyrical, you know,
Genius.
gorilla that maybe never got like to meet a
To
guy
where he
like
needs
Puff.
to be.
Yeah, to meet a
Yeah.
Puff or
No, Lord
somebody
Finesse,
like-
there was a couple of things with Lord Finesse. Lord Finesse was the best rapper at the time, best lyricist, hands down. But he wouldn't compromise. He would just make underground music, and he never even want to make other than that I think of. So he was really, really into the underground. He was hot, man. I remember I used to go to see him Club 2000, and it'd be sold out, and he'd be outside the club like, yo, Crack. I'm like, yo, what's up, Finesse? Yo, don't you got a show? Can't get in. Sold out. Can't get in. You know, he's to this day, we did a Digging in the Crates album this year, Digging in the Crates studio album. While All the Way Up was banging number 1, we did this album together, the whole crew, and whenever we had meetings, we talked to him like he's the man. You know what I'm saying?
Be
Finesse
clear.
He opened the doors for all of us.
I love that first album. It was Lord Finesse, Mike Smooth.
What
DJ
I didn't know, Mike Smooth, shout out Mike Smooth. What I didn't know was that Primo did a lot of the production with him and all that. Like
I didn't know that.
I learned that
'cause it was on Wild Pitch.
Because it was on Wild Pitch, but Primo was there with him the whole way.
Yeah, that
So
sound.
you know what's ill is when
That
you
knock
listen
was-
when you listen to Legends' first albums, you don't realize like Kanye was there behind the scenes, and he was doing Jay-Z's albums with him.
Mm-hmm.
When we was like, yo, Jay-Z, this is the greatest thing I ever heard in my life. Kanye West was the
Hanging
guy
around.
doing them beats, hanging around, doing whatever. So it's like, it's ill. Like right now, I feel like we got a young genius, Kent Jones,
Okay.
that be around the scenes with us, and you know him from Oye Como Esta. She said, but he's incredible. But you know,
Heard.
this is one of those. He's working with us behind the scenes. Eventually, 10 years from now, we'll be like, yo, Kent Jones, and they'd be like, yo, I was working on that Fat Joe Plata Plomo with Remy and all.
Sonny.
Yeah.
So with Digging the Crates being so many members and so many albums, I mean, great albums came out. Diamond D had a great album, Slept on album.
Phenomenal album.
A great album.
I feel like he had the best Digging in the Crates album to this day. Like Psychotic Neurotic.
Yeah, that's that shit.
Oh, like Stunts, Blunts, and Hip Hop.
Yeah, he had
That was the best Digging in the Crates album, even better than mine's, better than everybody's.
How was it for you? Because I did begin to see you transition, make big radio records, not be as underground.
But what happened to me was, you know, I knew Biggie before he blew up. And I knew Puff Daddy before he blew up. So I knew Puff Daddy with a see-through gold chain where it wasn't even a gold chain because you could see through it. That's how small it was. Puff Daddy would run down on me. I'd be in the Beamer, Benz, whatever. He'd be like, yo, Joe, what's up, my brother? Yo, I got an artist, Biggie. And so I'm like, boom. Then I watched what he did with Biggie. And when I met Pun, I was like, oh my God, this is the Spanish Biggie. We're gonna do the Spanish Biggie with this, because I watched Puff Daddy do it from A to Z. You know what I'm saying? And I'm always observative. And the thing with me is, I got in this business to be a superstar. You know what I mean? My whole life I try to be bigger than ever, bigger to this
When
day,
I saw you on
I'm trying to
an
be
Apollo
bigger.
stage, my brother, you was in such rare form. I'm gonna tell you how we used to talk about you back on the block. We was like, yo, there's this kid that gets on that stage and shuts it down every Wednesday. we didn't know it was Fat Joe. We just knew. I'm telling you, there's this guy. And, I mean, it was packed in there. I want to go back to Digging in the Crates for a minute. How was everything as you began to transition? Were the guys okay with
I
you
have a
becoming
unique situation.
with you
I have a
becoming
uni-
bigger
I have
and you
u-
kind of breaking out of it?
I have a unique situation. Me and the fellas never really even argued.
Okay,
It's a very unique crew.
that's great.
To where to this day we don't argue. And if I'm grateful for everything they've done for me. And when I go speak to them, I'm always humble. You know what I'm saying? I always go speak, yo, what's up? And if we ever had a problem, I let them know. There's no playing around with them. Like, I let them know, like, yo, listen, you heard wrong. Like I love you. I worship you. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be here. What can I do? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, our relationship is so different from like what you see in hip hop. Is that we got lucky, man. You know what I'm saying? We really love
Blessing.
each other, and we always respected each other. I'm sure there's little bumps between certain people every here and there, but it wasn't nothing like, you know, yo,
Nothing
I'm
that
not
did-
digging in the crates. I'm not there. Nah.
Nothing that disbanded the crew.
Always with respect. And when I discovered Pun and all that, and I put them on the projects and everything, Pun knew he was a member. He was in the family tree of Digging in the Crates. So whenever Showbiz or anybody asked him for any verses or anything, if he was double platinum, he knew he was to show up on time and spit his verse.
Now speaking Pun, right? So now here's Fat Joe. You're making music. You're successful. You're making a lot of money, right? And how did you even meet or hear about Big Pun? Like, how did you even
What
meet?
happened was Big Pun came to my block. So I'm like,
Which is
Forest Projects.
okay.
So what happened to me is
He's
that
from.
he's from Soundview, Castle Hill, Soundview area.
Why isn't that right? I didn't register with me. Damn.
Castle Hill, Soundview.
Wow.
And what
over there.
happens is very wild. And what happens to him is that, you know, I always thought we met by mistake, but I'm thinking he set me up and he found out exactly where I be. So I'm still a rapper. I'm gold and making money, but I'm still in the hood. Like nobody gave me the memo that, yo, you ain't supposed to be in the projects no more, like with sandals on. So I go to the bodega. I get me a Diet Pepsi when I come out. He's rapping. Him, Cuban Link, Triple Seis, and a guy named Tom.
in front of the deli.
In front of the deli.
Knowing you in there, gonna come out.
And when I come out, Pun says, chill, y'all, chill. Let me rap. So then he starts to rap. So I'm thinking, what is the fatter Puerto Rican gonna rap about? Right? Rest in peace. So when I go up in there, he starts rapping, doing the pun. So I'm like, oh my God, this dude's incredible. And then he stops, snatch the moon out the sky and blow the sun away. Me and my nigga playing hardball chicken, y'all. I was like, oh my God. I couldn't believe it. At the time I had the Lexus that got stolen at your birthday party.
I remember. Sorry, Joe.
Yo, Lex.
Sorry.
Yo, Lexus.
We was on the radio that night trying to get it back.
Day.
Where were we? Palladium?
Palladium.
We had Palladium. It was packed in there.
The first day I bought the Lexus, the first
But they
day.
stole like 20 cars that night.
did.
You got it back, though.
Brooklyn in the
They
house.
give it back to you. They brought that car back to you.
Like a month or something later, but
And then with apologies.
with apologies. But listen, your Lexus, like it was at
It was
your
white.
birthday.
Beige interior. The big body, too. A lot of people that had a big body.
That was the big boy. That was 49,000, man. That was 49,000 at the time. Yo, Flex, that was a whole 49. I know what I paid for it.
Fat Joe. Oh, man.
And I turned around and I had the Lexus, so I grabbed Pun. I'm like, get in the car, please, get in the car. His friends looked like they wanted to cry or something because, you know, they think we a group.
Oh, so okay. So when you met, when you met Pun, so there was Triple Six, Cuban,
Link,
and who else
and
was there?
a guy named Toom. Toom was TS. Like TS is a crew from my crew from the Bronx.
Okay.
But he was a member of TS, so he must have brought them there, right?
Okay.
But Toom thought he could rap. They used to call him the sick one.
Okay.
Horrible, my nigga. And then so I turned around from there. So they all looked.
What was the name of the group? What was the name of the group?
Full Eclipse Crew. The
Full Eclipse Crew.
Full Eclipse Crew.
Okay, so it was
And
them
he was
three.
Moondog Punisher, Big Dog Punisher.
Big Moondog.
Moondog Punisher, then Big Dog Punisher.
Okay, so they all rhymed. Did
So I
Pun
grabbed
steal the
him.
spotlight and make sure that you heard him
Destroyed
and not
all
hear
of
them?
Nah, he destroyed.
Oh, you did you get to hear them then?
Man, we heard him for years later, man. They couldn't stand next to Pun.
Okay.
So what happens is I get Pun in the car, and when I get Pun in the car, he tells me, "Yo, that's my crew." I said, "Listen, the only way this is gonna work, they not as good as you. You're gonna have to get on
And put them on.
Lauryn Hill or something like that, and then we'll put them on." And that was my agreement with him, and that's what I did. You know what I'm saying? So, and then
So now this Pun, he's in the car. This is a whole different thing for you because you never put rappers on before this,
never.
right? And he's talented.
Well, I had Armageddon with me. Armageddon from TS. He been with me since day one. Because when I did my first album,
I like
at
him
Jazzy
when
J
it comes to those
Studio,
bars.
he Armageddon. He was the little kid in the studio, and he's my brother.
Let's not skip over that Jazzy J Studio.
Oh yeah, Jazzy J Studio was amazing. I did my whole first album there.
New York, Jersey, Connecticut. Jazzy J Studio was on Allerton Avenue. All right? Jazzy J opening up a studio in the Bronx on Allerton is the equivalence of LeBron James opening up a basketball camp in the hood. I need you to understand what this is.
Yeah.
And every rapper hung out there. You could
Grand
see
Poobah, whoever you name was in
Grand
there.
Poobah. You could see Brand Nubians. I think I remember seeing Pete Rock up in there
I
one
mean,
time.
used to be there. Everybody.
And then you could see the old legends. They'd come through too.
They come through. That's how I met so many people. And so I did my first album, Jazzy J Studio. Armageddon lived around the corner from there.
You
And
did?
that's how I met him.
I never knew he lived uptown, like that close to town.
Yeah, right up there. And that's where I met him at. And then from forever, he's just been my brother. And we rocked out.
So Terror Squad forms, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now let's say you meet Pun. Up until this meeting, Pun.
Mm-hmm.
Are you still on Relativity at the time?
I'm on Relativity, yeah.
And I mean, Alan Grunbach wasn't big on giving big budgets. So I mean, what was your money situation at this point now when you meet Pun?
At this point, when I meet Pun, I'm making a couple of dollars. I'm doing my shows and all that. I'm all right. Working on my second album. I was doing all right. I was
On
getting show
Relativity.
money FloJo already was #1, so I was getting little 2,500 a show, doing 3 shows every Saturday. You know, I'm hustling.
So when you met Pun, FloJo was still out?
It was right after FloJo was out, I started working on my second album.
I didn't know you met him that early.
I met him at my second album. He's on my second album.
Ah.
So that night I met him, I took him to the studio, and he jumped on the song with me and Armageddon.
Okay, so now how you have? Well, I remember Joe, you bringing him because he was on my
Freestyle.
he was on my first album.
So what happens is
I'm gonna let Joe tell it.
Flex is up in D&D and he's doing a mixtape, a freestyle album. But when you walk in there, it's Method Man, it's Redman, it's Prodigy, it's anybody who is a Buckshot Shorty, Fugees,
Mobb Deep.
Mobb Deep.
Just as you know, New York, the way we used to record the albums back then is I brought every big rapper to one studio session. We stayed there for like 20 hours, and the next person would just go in and do it.
And it was amazing. And then there was a big sign on the door, or in neon lights that said, "Nobody bring your entourage. Nobody. We ain't gonna have 40 members."
Me and Joe talked on the phone that
You
day.
didn't want King Just or Shaheem. You wanted Wu-Tang. Hey, yo, Black. You wanted Wu-Tang.
Wait.
So, hey, Black. Yo, Black. You didn't want that. Shout them out. But I mean, like, you know, you wanted Wu-Tang.
Wait. I spoke to Joe that day. And I don't know why. Like, Joe was always deep but peaceful. But deep. But, you know, I said, Joe, nah, come on, boom, we gonna do this, whatever. You know, just you. And I think I was getting the point to just him to rhyme. Joe comes in the studio, and I remember him putting his arm around Flex. That's how he started.
Flex.
Wait, he didn't even. He just said. He says, "My man, you know, I had to bring my man down." And I think he said his name. He said, "Big Dog Punisher." I said, "Come on, Joe. We talk on the phone."
I said Big Dog Punisher.
But
you
Joe
didn't
did say
know.
something key. He said, "You put him in the booth. He's whack."
Cut him out. But the
If he's
point is,
there,
he's
yeah.
Big Dog Punisher.
Yeah.
So he gets up in there in front of everybody and says, "Brothers are rapping like a record." So it's
Everybody.
Everybody was like, "Oh!" And you know,
No.
you knew he had the flapjack hat. What's that hat?
Wait, Joe.
Jimmy.
So
Walker.
wait, Joe. Wait.
JJ
He was
Goodtimes
about
used to wear the joint, the hat.
Joe. He was about 20 bars in. I mean, he was about 20 bars in, and different people were creeping to see who he was as he was going, right? As he was going,
He's the best.
they was like, and they're looking and they're asking who he is, and he did something in that booth, and I think I said to Joe, "Yo, this guy's cracking. Nah, let's definitely keep him on the tape."
Was people knew me to that point. They knew me as an underground rapper myself.
But you
Army
were
Fatigue.
big though.
Yeah,
you
I
were,
was a
you know,
big.
you was.
I was big, but I was a hardcore.
You was
Let's
the-
just say
yeah.
I was hardcore. So when they seen him, they knew he was dead nice. They probably thought he was gonna be the nicest dude in the underground. They didn't realize I was gonna throw Versace on him and throw him on a convertible Benz, Joe the singer, and make him the biggest Spanish Biggie Smalls of America. So
Did you know when day one you see Big Pun here? I see him. Did you know day one this is what it was going to be?
Let me tell you something, Flex. Big Pun was better than everybody, and I'm a student of the game. I'm a hip hop historian, and not only a hip hop historian in life, I'm realistic, and I tell myself the truth. A lot of people lie to themselves. I don't lie to myself, Flex. I knew because I was a fan of Nas. I was a fan of Coogee Rap. I was a fan of the guys you needed to be a fan of. Like I knew who was the best. I knew he was the best. So then, to prove it, I went and I took Pun to Coogee Rap and Nas,
You let him rhyme in front of him.
and I let them rhyme in front of them, and their eyes opened up like owls. They were like,
I was so unorthodox.
"Yo, you got one. You got him, Joe." I was like, "Yeah." They were like, "Yo, he's incredible. He's incredible." So I knew that. I just knew I had to produce him, and make sure that he make them hit records. And that was that. And that was a struggle because, you know, Big Pun wanted to be known as the best lyricist underground rapper on earth.
Now, I remember when Still Not a Player was like his first single, right? The first one.
Yeah.
But I remember the first one, not the first original,
White
not
Label was You
performing
Ain't
well.
a Killer. But it wasn't a single. All the darling, baby.
which everyone loved, and I remember it ripped
was
the tunnel
cool.
for a little while.
No, it was cool.
But I know that
It wasn't a hit.
There was a period. There was a period of worry because I was on the label. Well, wait. Well, I was on the label at the
They
same
did.
time. Wait. That record was. Everyone was looking to be that thing, and then he came with that remix.
Yeah, that's Still Not a Player. So now what happened was, I had contacted.
Because that's not the original.
No, I had contacted Kedar. Kedar was president of Motown. Kedar Massenberger. I knew Kedar from his brother from Stetsasonic. And I said, yo, Kedar, man, I need a huge favor. He was like, anything for you, Joe. You know, everybody loves you, this and this and that. I was like, yo, I know you, Joe the Singer is signed to you. I want him to do a song. He was like, not a problem, no problem, Joe. I'll get him with you, this and this and that. And I was like, yeah, but it ain't for me, it's my artist. He was like, yo, Joe, I never heard this guy. Like, I don't know this guy. How do you expect me? Joe the Singer had just sold 500,000 records the first week that week. You understand? He sold 500.
He was that quiet killer on Jive.
You're not listening to me. So Kedar was like, yo, Joe, like, this is the bit. I said, please, man, I'm begging you. So he sent Joe the Singer over. And we put him in the studio with Pun, and that's how we came up with Still Not a Player.
Amazing record.
And yeah, amazing record. But for me to tell you that I actually made the record, I didn't produce and make the record. Pun and him came together with that song and made that a hit.
I got a confession.
Yes.
I didn't play that record.
Still Not a Player?
I'm gonna tell you what happened. New York was late on it, and I was late on it too. And I rode with Dan Smalls to Power 99 in Philly. I was promoting something for myself, and it was banging off that radio. And I said, "My nigga, what is this?" He said, "No, that's the remix." I was like, and I went to a club that night, and it lift. Cosmic Kev was playing, and it lift the roof off that bitch.
He was like, oh my God.
I couldn't run home.
Sometimes you gotta see.
I couldn't run home fast enough.
To break that record up.
Yo, I was like,
well,
he might get back home in an hour, I might be too late.
And the vice versa for me, I played
Philly broke that record.
I played that song in the morning show in Hot 97, and by the time I got to the lobby, Leo Cohen, Craig Cowman, every executive in the universe was at the lobby of Hot 97. And when I came down, they were like, Joe, yo, Joe, one spin. And Leo Cohen got me because I had known him, and he was like, please, let me have lunch with you. I'll take you to lunch now. We went to Little Italy. And he was like, yo, he got any Puerto Rican cousins? You got any, like, nah, it was incredible. They was like, yo, what are you doing this? So I was like, yo, he signed to Steve Rifkin, Loud Records. We signed him there first. And that's how I got my label deal with Atlantic.
Got you.
Atlantic turned around and threw me the big check over there.
Mm-hmm.
It was crazy, bro.
And which you eventually went there as an artist.
I was there as an artist first.
Okay.
But being that I was there already, that's why I did the deal with them. And they threw me a lot of money.
So Terror Squad. When you find, of course, so you meet everyone at the same time. Armageddon is already with you. Mm-hmm. So then you form Terror Squad.
Tony Sunshine grew up in my projects too.
Now,
So
was
we
he
knew
part
him
of
as
Terror
a little
Squad as
kid.
well?
Yes, he is.
Okay.
Yeah, 1,000,000%.
So, did everybody in the Terror Squad understand that Big Pun gets on first, and then we will decide who blows next?
I don't know if they were delusional.
Was it said? Was it like verbally
Man,
said?
I had 2 albums in. I was Fat Joe. My second album had Hustling is the Key to Success, and I was performing at every drug dealer anthem party. Drugs is the key to success. I had that 9-5 from New York to VA every weekend. It was incredible standing. I was the first Young Jeezy at that time.
I remember.
Every drug dealer, that was their
Wait,
anthem.
of
B.
all colors too.
Blacks.
Yeah, I remember.
There's never been colors. It's always been rampacked drug dealers, going crazy. So I went and took a backseat to Big Pun because I knew he was better than me. So imagine those guys. I don't know what they thought. You know,
Well,
sometimes people are delusional.
But at the time, but I felt, because Joe, I remember when you used to talk to me, you'd say, yo, this Armageddon Project Flex, you need to pay attention. This Cuban Project Flex, you need to pay attention. Like I remember.
Hard for everybody.
No, I remember you speaking
I
to
got
me.
them big checks. I got them $500,000 checks.
So
Yo, Flex.
so wait. So they didn't understand.
Yeah,
So
Flex, I don't think you understand. Like, I got these guys $500,000 checks.
well, the reason why I imagine is because if they had that understanding of Terror Squad, and if they didn't, then I can see where maybe, you know, a big crew like that could have misunderstandings if we're not considered okay. Was Pun, who did Pun, out of his crew members, who did Pun want to put out next? Who did Pun want?
But we always I don't know who Pun wanted to put out next, but we always thought that Cuban Link, we was gonna put him out next. That's
Okay.
what we did. Like, you gotta understand.
And
I've
why
said
did you?
this a
And
million
why
times.
did you like Cuban so much at the
'Cause
time to be the
cutie
next?
boy. He was a cutie boy. He was a cool dude before I had problems with him. Like, you know, I looked at him as a little brother.
Because I want to talk right now. Prior problems.
No, let's
I'm
go.
prior problems. Like, so you like what he was.
Problems.
Yeah, before problems. You
I
like
met
what he
Cuban
was
Link working at Toys R Us.
before Pun.
Yeah. When Pun was like, yo, one day we was in the tour bus. He was like, yo, let's go meet my man. So I went to meet his man.
But he
and
did
was
come
working
to. But he was there at the initial
store,
meeting.
At the store.
At the initial meeting.
Well, he worked at
that you
Toys
meet
R
him.
Us.
Okay.
So then we went over there and then we gassed him to come with us and quit and go on tour. So he left the job.
He had
and
to be
came with
scared.
us. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. He was with us, but he was with Fat Joe. Was the biggest thing in the Bronx. Coming after KRS is the biggest thing in Bronx history, my
Look at
man.
this,
Like,
look
don't
at
be clear, man. These dudes,
He
like,
hey.
nah, B, like you.
Wait.
So,
I wanna put you in another zone. I wanna hold up. I wanna put you in another zone. I'm putting you prior problems, the crew. You know, because I gotta be honest, my
had
nigga.
no
I
problems.
remembered a lot of great times. I remembered so many. Like, I know that there's a little shit online now and what it is, but I remembered the Terror Squad album release, The Tunnel. I remember the music. I remembered, you know, because you know.
went all out. You know what I
Because remember too, you know,
what I
being
remember?
being
Hold
put.
up. You want to know what I remember, Flex? That there's a lot of people that I look up to. The biggest people I ever look up to, and never put nobody on, and never gave nobody millions of dollars, and never gave nobody opportunity, and only thought about themselves. So what you gotta understand is I made it by myself. I went to Apollo Theater.
I remember.
Amateur night at the Apollo Theater, made it myself, got an opportunity and went back to my hood and put 4 or 5 dudes on and gave them all $500,000.
Well, yes, I'm at that, Joe.
Okay,
I'm,
all right,
no,
you're not there yet.
Yeah, no,
I'm just
yeah.
trying
I'm
to
on,
let you know where
because
I'm at with
I
it.
did feel like it was harder for a Hispanic rapper to crack into the game
The problem is,
at the time.
the
Like
problem is-
when you were coming through.
the problem is, it's still hard. There ain't
Yeah,
no more
and so,
Spanish dudes
but
now.
and that's what I'm, like.
But the problem is, we ain't with excuses. Terror Squad is a different type of DNA. We were born with a different type of DNA. That is a fact. And we are warriors. And if this wasn't rap music, we would be the guys fighting in the movie Troy on the front line with swords, chopping hands off, getting our ears chopped off. We a different kind of DNA. We're not laying down for nobody.
So-
no matter what you throw at us.
when Pun was blowing up, right? Were the other members okay with Pun blowing
I
up?
believe so.
It,
Everybody
it felt
was
like
happy.
good energy.
You know, it wasn't until Pun died that the energy changed.
But I want to be. I
And
want to
if
be
there
before
was-
Pun
if
death. I'm,
there
I'm,
was-
not, I'm not before that. I'm not before that.
Alright.
Because you know, Joe, look,
It was a great energy.
you done a lot.
Nah, yo,
and,
listen.
and I remember
Listen,
that energy.
Listen, it was a great, phenomenal energy.
Yeah,
we all loved each other. Supposedly, we all loved each other.
So when you were working on the Cuban album, were you actively working on an album for him? Was he like almost complete? Did it ever come out?
No. What happened was we worked on that album. We spent over $1,800,000 on the album. This is how I lost my label deal with Atlantic for Cuban Link. We had DMX, Pink, whoever wanted $250,000. The Neptunes was the hottest dudes. Here's $250,000 for your beat. Whoever, the biggest guys you could think of in the world, to come get on his album. And
This is before Pun passed.
this was before Pun passed.
Before Pun passed,
This
you're
is
working
just
on Cuban's
right
album.
around the time Pun was about to pass.
So this is your label situation
Yes.
through Atlantic. Lior comes to you. You're already signed
Not
to
Lior,
Atlantic.
he wasn't there. It was Craig Kalman.
Kirk Howman, you're already signed to the label as a soloist. You've already sold
I
units.
already went gold.
You already sold units, made the label money. We want to know what the label wants to know. What does Fat Joe
Have next.
feel next?
I have Cuban Link.
Okay, now because Pun's on Loud,
I have Cuban Link.
so Cuban
and
Link
I'm
was
buying
your next
I'm
project.
buying, you ever see those the things that advertise stuff that go through Manhattan, the billboard things? We didn't even have an album and we had them things going by with Cuban Link. We
Now,
was
is
using
this after the
a
Terror Squad
immigration
album?
card.
Because you had a Terror Squad album on
Yeah,
Atlantic.
It's after the Terror,
Terror Squad album happens, right? So now we're at your first soloist on your label, which is Cuban Links. He's recording, right? Pun's alive. Is everyone in good spirits there?
Everybody was
Amazing.
As far as I knew, everybody was in amazing spirits.
And on top of that, so he's making money, of
But I
course,
learned
from the budget.
Further on,
But he's making money from the budget.
I bought him a house, Flex, personally, my own money, a $250,000 house in Jersey because he was getting beef with the Bloods in the Bronx.
Got you.
So I bought him a house in Jersey before I ever owned the house. I bought him, you like cars, I bought him an NSX. A brand, when the NSX
Now,
was
did-
like something
now-
you
now,
can't
did
get
this- now, did-
out of my pocket.
Okay, not out of his budget, out of your
Out of
personal.
my pocket.
Okay.
I
Pun's alive.
Pun's alive. We all having
you.
fun. So he's supposed to be,
Now, is Cuban who Pun was pushing?
yeah, we was all pushing him.
Like and Pun's
That was his
like
best
a pushing.
friend. That was
Oh,
his
they were
best
best friends.
When they grew up, they was best friends. When I met
Gotcha.
them, they was best friends. So we was doing that for him.
Okay.
And all I could say is anything you asked for, anything he ever asked for, I gave it.
Now, wait. So, Remy's also in here
No, Remy comes in
later.
around that time.
Okay, so
Around
she
that
comes in
time.
around
that's
this
when
time.
That's when we met Remy.
Okay, so then I do like so then this is Annie Up and a couple other songs happening. Now, did Cuban get moved at all or maybe or back burner when Remy came into the picture?
No,
He was still up to bat.
still up to bat. He was still
Okay.
up to bat. Remy was waiting.
Remy was waiting
Remy
behind
was
Cuban.
waiting. Yeah, she was waiting behind.
Okay, so now Cuban's album, which I thought came out, I didn't even know it didn't come out. So it doesn't come out, right?
What happens is
Why doesn't it come out?
we about to put it out and
Mastered, done.
mastered and done. I spend so much money on it, promotions, Neptunes, $250,000 videos, parties in New York, Miami, LA, the biggest things you could think of. And then Craig Kalman comes back to me and tells me, listen, we are going to only sell 5,000 records of the Cuban Link album. Now, it's not 2017. It was when Cameron was selling 300,000 first week. People were really selling tons. If you sold 150, 200 records, you lost, right, the first week. He was going to sell 5. So
So it was in stores. It was a prediction.
It was a prediction, Joe. We're about to sell 5,000.
I remember he did not have a record on the radio at the time,
This is not a good look. Craig Kalman told me.
but he was considered a good lyricist.
Yeah.
I remember, but he didn't have a
thought he was
record.
good.
He didn't have a record at the moment. So then you had to break that news to him.
I had to break the news to him like, yo, they don't want to put out your album, man. They said you're only gonna let's push it back. So we used that as the pushing back as an excuse to push it back
Push it
to
back.
see if we get another
Get another
hit, we
record.
get some energy, whatever. And then he was like, yo, I'm waiting.
I remember you calling me a couple times and saying, "Flex, I need to get this Cuban record going." I remember.
I didn't have to call you. I called everybody.
I
Let me
remember
tell
you calling me a
something.
couple times.
First of all, if you give me money,
Mhm.
anybody that ever gave me money made money. Anybody that ever gave me money.
So he-
I don't rob. So what happens is if they gave me an opportunity to be a record label, I really wanted everybody to be successful.
And you signed Armageddon. You signed.
A Prospect, never Triple Six. Triple Six to me was always
And when you say signed,
subpar.
meaning you
He was
gave them
down
an
with
album
us.
budget,
album budget,
and they're able to do what they want to do,
$500,000,
and they're able to take some of that money for their personal,
all of that.
if they choose.
It was $500,000 for their pocket, then $500,000 for the
I
whatever
forgot it was
budget.
those '90s when that money was
90.
flying
No, they was
around.
getting money, B.
Okay,
Like they was getting money.
so yeah, this is because so this is your first hiccup. Have you and Cuban been able to talk at all? Because he seems to express the music seems to bother him, and
What music?
Well, he talks about his. I've heard him talk about his project and what happened in Atlantic. And if I had to say something specific, he says he feels, I guess, because the Pun and what you and Pun were able to do together, and accomplish that maybe I could tell by the words he uses that he feels that he didn't benefit enough from that, and he feels that Pun's wife didn't benefit enough from that. How do you feel about that?
He didn't have a hit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now I can only tell you by statistics, Flex. He begged to get off of Terror Squad. And
He wanted out.
Yeah, he wanted out. He begged to get off of Terror Squad.
The label, everything.
And he's never had a hot record since. So now,
Did you try to
Nah,
did you
yo,
try to
Flex.
convince him to keep him?
no. Oh, he broke my heart. Like I could not believe it. He was the first person.
But this
ever-
is after Pun passed.
after Pun passed.
Now, with Pun's
So I-
passing, did that bring stress to the Terror Squad with Pun
Well, it
passing
meant
away?
I was in depression.
Okay.
Me personally, I was seeing a therapist.
Oh, okay.
Like my sister, actually today, March 1st is my sister's birthday. My sister passed away, my grandfather passed away, and Pun passed away. Fat Joe wasn't himself.
Gotcha.
Fat Joe was getting drunk in Jimmy's every day. I got fat. I was stressed out. It took me 2 years of seeing the therapist to get over the depression. We was doing the Pun graffiti wall in 163rd with the Tats crew, and two dudes walked by and somebody was like, yo, what's that? He was like, oh, they always do that for Pun. It's been 2 years. And something hit my head, said 2 years, 2 years, 2 years. And finally I woke up and said, yo, you can't be depressed. Like real depression. Like coming outside on a sunny day, it looked like it's dark. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Brother, I
Staying
know
up
the
all
feeling.
night. So I went through real depression, B. So that's how much I love Pun. I couldn't even believe it. So while I was going through that, people, fake drug dealers, whatever you want to name, because I'm the realest dude. I'm one of the realest dudes ever, but Flex, I'm going to be honest with you. As a human being, like, nobody scares me on the planet to this day. Like, I ain't no security. I got
No,
about
from the
half a
same
million.
borough.
I know.
You know,
half a
I
million
know.
on it. I'm not scared of nobody, B. So, like, all the fake drug dealers start getting in people's ears, like, yo, Joe ain't the same. Pun ain't here. You the biggest star. You the one. You the this, that, this.
If Pun hadn't have passed away, you think that the
We would have
Terror,
all been cool.
everything would have been great?
Everything would have been
Pun
great.
passed away was the wild
You let them
card.
tell it. You let them tell it. When you, I don't really want to talk bad or ill of his wife. You understand? Because it's his wife. That's why I've always had kids
She gets,
gloves.
she does. I haven't witnessed her online, especially during the time around when Pun dies, when the anniversary comes up. She does get upset, and she does
Get upset.
She gets upset, and even when you like
The fact is,
when you post a
the
picture,
fact
she gets
is-
upset.
Yeah, every time.
I never
The
understood.
fact
I
is,
don't know why.
understand it either. The fact is, I don't think they realized that you wouldn't know Pun if it wasn't for me. That's how this interview started. The fact that they make their money off of Pun still or whatever his legacy, they don't realize that it's because I introduced him to the game.
Was Pun's wife happy with the situation when you first did business with her after he passed? Was she happy then?
Well, for me to tell you is, he was my brother, so I was always going to keep it real with her. I was always going to keep it 100 with her. And she came up to me and told me he was broke. She didn't have no money. Now, Flex,
She did it.
she did. She
Gotcha.
told me we was in Jimmy's. Personally,
This is when after he passed.
he made more money than me, bro, when he was alive. Now, Pun had 17 motorcycles in front of his house. Pun had a limo on 24-hour service. Look, I don't even.
I
have
love the way he was moving.
No. He was.
I love the way he was. I gotta be
in front of your in-stores, throwing 10,000 at the fans. Pun
I love
didn't
the way he
care.
was
He wanted
moving,
to die
bro.
broke. Like he literally, furs for all the kids, dogs to match the furs. So if he had a blue
living,
dog
bro.
from Europe, he had the blue furs for the kids to match. It was nothing he wasn't spending money on, right? But I didn't think he was broke. So when she told me that, I said, listen,
Or was she not putting up money for her?
he was spending all the money.
As it came
A
in.
lot of people spent money. The whole hip-hop game spent money, Flex.
Okay.
I've spent money. I've went broke spending money. You understand what I'm saying? So when she told me it was like that, I said, listen,
I went a little broke with my divorce too. I just wanted to bring that up.
Go.
But I'm back. Go ahead.
I turned around, but it's cause you a fighter and you a Leo and you back. A lot of people lay down, Flex.
Yeah, they do.
People be mad because they lay down. I don't lay down, Flex.
I've
You
never
understand
seen
what
you
I'm
like
saying? So what happens is, so then I turned around and I said, listen, I'm gonna get you this money.
that. Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? People feeling sorry for Pun right now. But what do you do? She said, I do beauty salon or whatever. So I said, listen, we're gonna get you enough money to open up 6, 7 beauty salons.
And did you?
So
So,
we-
you gave enough money for that
I had to publish. She got hundreds of thousands of dollars.
to open up salons?
No, for whatever.
Whatever she
for our
wanted to do.
family. How she spent that, you ask me, she was used to spending crazy money. My wife is used to spending money. Right now, if I died tomorrow and she could, she
My girl likes to spend.
Listen,
Let's listen to the story.
listen.
Ma.
Right now, my wife loves to spend money, and my family are very spoiled. My biggest fear is
God
if I
able to spoil 'em.
listen, if I die now, the money that I thought I looked out for them for the insurance, they will spend that money in
Oh, yeah.
4 months. Cause they're so used to like Mr. Chow every night.
Yeah.
You understand?
Fat Joe's gonna
So-
pop out a record, sell
Oh,
a
no,
million units,
listen,
and they're gonna be back at
I'm
the
out here on
Grammys.
every plane in the world, you know, trying to get $1 to make sure they catch suntans. So unfortunately, she spent the money on wisely. Now you got to understand, I did whatever I could to be a real brother, the realest. I actually think I'm the realest dude in the world. So when I turn around and that's happening, I look from the outside in. Like I told you, I'm realistic. And I said, damn, Joe and Pun used to be together like this. If Pun's wife is saying that Joe don't take care of them kids, that they going homeless and this and that, Joe's a foul dude. Do you know how hard it was for me to try to prove to people that I wasn't a foul dude? Do you know how
I
much
knew
they
you,
was trying to
Joe.
destroy me?
I
Every
knew you.
single time I brought an album out, every time I fought from hell to get back up and make it rain, to make it, they were doing press conferences the day my album signs, saying that I'm the bad word, I've jerked them, they're homeless, I had like a smear campaign going up, and still to this day, it's a smear campaign going up against
And he was Pun was 2 albums in.
2 albums in.
You know, just for an understanding of Loud Records.
Never recouped.
And
Big Pun never recouped.
I want to tell you
Fat
something.
Joe never recouped.
You get
We
the next
both
budget,
been double playing.
and-
You get another budget, and then you got the album. So people got a misconception that they thinking that, you know, Big Pun had a water fountain of money coming out, and Joe's robbing them and this. I work for everything I got, B.
Loud Records and all the labels that were there, and I could say it, I didn't get $1 million to my 5th album in. I didn't get $1
Damn, you
million.
caught $1 million. Huh? I didn't catch him in.
Yo, you caught them label deals, Joe. Them label deals. No, you was catching them label deals when there was overhead and
Wow, that overhead was magnificent.
yo.
Overhead was magnificent.
Let me tell you how overhead used to work, New York. You get a label, they give you $500,000 to just get downtown in the morning and run the label like a quarter or some shit. And then when you put out an album, you know, I keep it 100. When you like me and Joe, we were selling units. You know, Joe's still selling. I don't put him out no more. Once you get that goal, you know that was able to go re-up and get a bigger budget. He said to go platinum, I need more money.
Nah, it was great. It was great. Nah, you right. Like,
So, but see, Pun was only 2 albums in.
Well,
He
not
wasn't
2
at that
albums.
place
No.
yet to get the big budgets.
yeah, but he was making a lot of money for
Shows.
Big Pun's the
But
only guy I know.
Was he making them from shows?
Most from shows, but his budget, he rocked. We rocked Steve Rifkin, legend. Like we was like, are you kidding me? Big Pun was getting serious dough, my man, like real dough, like big dough. Like I look at him and I be like, damn, how put this nigga Pun go and come back a month later from on tour with duffel bags of money.
Of money.
Duffels, like throwing them down. Yo, what up, twin? Duffel bags of money. He made
Have
tons
you,
of money.
Have you and Bun's wife been able to talk lately?
No, we can't
or
talk.
Get it to a better place?
Nah, we can't talk, and we'll never talk. You know what I mean? It is what it is with them, with me, with whatever the case may be. Cuban Link, we'll never talk.
I felt like I saw Cuban somebody. I felt like he wants to talk. I'm gonna keep it up.
I don't know what he want to talk about.
But
he
you know what?
washed up.
It was the first time.
Listen, Flex.
But it was the first time.
Flex, he
Yes.
washed up. He said he wanted to get off Terror Squad. He got off and never became hot again. He has tried his whole life to disrespect me, to blemish my name, who I am as a man. He knew that I looked out for Pun's family, and he went along with the gimmick. And in fact, they have a gimmick. They will refuse the gimmick of Joe treated me bad, this, the victim side of, yo, Joe, this and this and that. When all I did was look out for these people. You understand what I'm saying? He played along with it. He knew I ain't cut his face. He knew I ain't had nobody cut his face. That's the last conversation I had with him. He said, you will never do this to me, Joe. But he used it as a gimmick. Oh, 50 Cent blow up. Somebody shot him. Oh, Joe cut me. Oh, it's foul what these people were doing to me, bro.
He gave a story, and which I never knew. He described the Jay-Z and what's the name situation at the club at Jimmy's, but I think he said that like you and Pun weren't there.
He wasn't even. It wasn't at Jimmy's. It was at Carbon.
It was at Carbon.
And Cuban Link's a liar. Like there's nothing you can believe about this guy. He's a bum. He wakes up every morning to drink Hennessy for breakfast. Look at him. He looks like he's 1,000 years old.
Could it be his lack of experience of the music industry?
Still got lack of experience.
You know what I mean. You know what I mean, Joe. Like outside looking in, it's understood.
Got lack of experience in the music business. People think you just can rap and then it's
and there's a paycheck at the end.
I just came from a month promo tour, bro. I've been in the game 20-something years.
It's part.
You know what a promo tour is? When's the last time you did a promo tour? Slept 3 hours a day, and every day you wake up in a different city.
I'm not album
15 radio stations. I be killing myself to get where I'm at. Destroying myself.
I know you do. You put the work in.
And I put the work in, and these guys don't understand that. They're not ready to put the work in. You got to put the work in. Everybody want to find a fall guy to point the finger at.
Absolutely. So there's no reconciling.
No, never.
I want to go to that.
To my grave. One of us gonna die. We all gonna die. One of us gonna die first. If
nobody's gonna die, everything's gonna be good.
No, I'm just saying. If I die, I'm sure they're gonna throw a parade. You know what I'm saying? If they die, I don't care.
No, it's gonna be good.
I'm not being honest with you. It's just the way it is. There is no reconciling, and I'm a mature man. I'm a businessman. I got business all over the place. All I do is forgive people. I'm a God-fearing man. Can't forgive these people. They try to stop my kids from eating every minute, second of their lives.
I think Pun passed away, Joe, and I think a lot of people were looking for someone to blame, and I think for a lot of people, this is me outside looking at Terror Squad, and I think I don't want to use the word meal ticket. I think
that was a meal ticket,
but I think well, Pun was a person successful with bars, talented, and I think a lot of people around the Terror Squad watched a talented person rise up and make money with your help. And I think checks and money was already counted before Pun died, because in actuality that was going to happen for 5 more people. That was guaranteed. As long as Joe's here and Pun's here, I'm gonna get this budget. I'm gonna do some shows. I'm gonna open for them at the arenas.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I wished it was too.
And I thought it was gonna be. I think Pun passing, it made people act out of character.
They act out of character.
And maybe not handle it the right way.
I could not believe it, man. Because these people, we were having the best time in the world till he passed away. When he passed away, I never knew. It was like, oh, they don't.
Did you know Pun?
Did you know? They don't really. I couldn't believe it.
Did you know Pun? His health was that like that?
I didn't know nothing. I was eating just as much as Big Pun, and we was hanging out the same way. We knew he was a big guy since I met him. Did I think he would die? No way. He was a young kid. He was in his 20s.
Where were you when you heard about it?
Well, his
Pun
wife
passed.
called me, and I was living in Jersey, and I could hear it over the phone. She was like, "Yo, he died," and I heard, he ain't died. He caught a heart attack. He's here. So we rushed all the way up to White Plains. We might have got there in like 15 minutes. And when we got there, we seen the ambulance people still working on him, and that was it, man. Then we went to the hospital, and he was dead. That was crazy, my nigga. Like, I ain't even gonna lie to you. That was like nuts. It's just no way to explain it to you, man. And he died. We thought he was strong. You know what I'm saying? Pun was a kid. He put his arm out and have 6 kids hanging off his arm. He was so strong. He played those games, strong man games. You know what I'm saying? We didn't know. We wasn't educated. You're on a 40-day reset. Big D just, D the weatherman lost 88 pounds. I try to eat light as much as I can and work out. We didn't know that then.
No, we
Dudes
didn't.
was just
I was
eating
heavy.
whatever,
I
drinking,
was
smoking,
190.
doing whatever.
I remember I was big.
People were like really.
You were
really,
big at the time. We
What?
were all big.
and it was like, you know what, it was crazy, bro. We didn't know he was gonna pass away. That's one thing for
Is
sure.
there anything you would have done different for Pun now, 2017? Is there anything that you would have just done different for him back then? Now seeing how it all played out.
I'm not gonna lie. I've had a hell of a run. Ups and downs. You know, with these taxes, I always kept $2 million in the bank. Always. 15 years of my life. When my father and my mother would ask me, "Yo, you spending money crazy?" Don't worry, I got this. They found a way between the lawyers and the accountants and the penalties to make me give back $1,900,000 something and be dead broke. Like, I was broke. I wouldn't say dead broke, but I was broke. I got a catalog. I know I could always make money, and on top of that, give me a penalty of $1.4 million after I paid all the money back.
And the time you did. But
Right.
you couldn't make money.
And I had to do time. Now, but the thing is, I come back and grace of God, we make all the way up. I'm not spending that money. Be very, very, very selective with what I'm doing. But I had to learn. I had to get beat on my ass. I had to fall for me to be like, oh no, we got to hold this. Yo, chill. Yo, let's get this. Let's hold this. Like, yo, we got to this. You know, I had to pay back $1,400,000 penalties after I paid them.
I gotta be honest, Joe. When I saw it going on, I was never, because I know you, I was never confused thinking you wasn't gonna get that bread back ×2. Only because I know you.
But you know that from watching The Outside In.
Yeah, because I know
Personally,
you.
I had to look at my kids. I had to look at my daughter. While all this was going on, my son was still in college. I had to pay his college. We ain't got no loans. So I'm looking at my daughter like, wow. Can you believe we done did private jets? We done did all kind of Phantoms and Rolls Royces and all that. How it's unfair to her. She's
you're
only
right.
8 years old, 7 years old. I'm like, I'm not gonna leave her nothing. That loses sleep at night. You turn
Absolutely.
around, and if you're a real man, you turn around, toss and turn every night. Like, God, please
good
let me
sleep.
figure it out. It's just not a good sleep.
I've been there. It's not a good
So
sleep.
but what I'm saying to you is, I had to do that. So I know now from my mistakes. Back in them days, we didn't know. We was just spending money crazy, acting crazy. I used to walk in. Yo, when I hear these stories, I just did a promo tour, right? And I just went to every town you could think of. And I'm a repetitive person. To kill Fat Joe, you could find him at the same spots all the time. So if I went to Atlanta, I go to the fish spot. If I go to, I go to everywhere I went, people were like, "Oh my God, Fat Joe, so many years no see you," because I did a real promo tour. You used to come with 100 guys. Everybody order lobster, champagne. Where's the guys? I said, well, they doing what they got to do, but I'm older now. I'm wise. I know entourage. When these people get to start telling me stories, I had a guy tell me we in somewhere DC, and the guy was like, "Last time I came here, you gave me $1,000 tip for parking your car. You had the Rolls Royce, the white one." I was like, "Yo, you believe
A couple
I
of
gave
them,
you-"
bro.
No, but what I'm telling you, this guy, when I start meeting these people where they start telling me the type of money we was blowing, we didn't have no sense.
The game was that, though. The game was bigger the better, man. At that 90s.
I look at these young kids
2000.
now, these young rappers. Not that they want guidance, not that they want any help, but they making the same mistakes. You look at them, I get on a plane with them, I'm with my manager and one other dude, and they in there with 30 people, and I'm just like, man,
How
I gotta
did
keep making hits. Because I'm lucky. I've been making hits 20 years.
I mean,
They
Joe?
gotta keep making hits.
Let me tell you something. It's not even just the hits. You know, I watch you from afar. You know. Sometime I'll bump into a promoter. Yeah, Fat Joe just came out here for $100,000 out in Nigeria. I'm like, what? What? Like, I'll meet people. Yeah. Or sometime I called Joe when
Have to pay
when
you
Joe
in
doesn't
something.
have a record out. Oh man, I call you back. I'm just getting. I'm going overseas. Like you stay with the bread.
What? Yeah, I gotta get money. That's just the bottom line.
Rock Nation, and I was surprised and wasn't surprised. I mean, I wasn't surprised as the businessman,
50 Cent, one of my friends.
Fat Joe. Yes.
Knew right there.
I've heard so many different things on was that incident at Carbon why you guys didn't get along for a little while? Was that it? Well, it was really Pun and it wasn't even Pun and Jay. It was like Pun and Dame, right?
I don't even know.
Whatever it was.
I really don't got no comments about that.
Oh, got it. Okay. Wait, but is
That's
that
a pass. That's a
no?
blur.
But the reason why I asked is because I want to bring it up to the
Like,
future.
I
Oh,
love you.
wait.
I love you.
Okay. Let me word that different. Like for two people to have
We had a problem, and it was all my fault.
okay.
Fat Joe came in the game as a crazy dude
Mm-hmm.
with a bunch of crazy guys, and we want to prove to everybody we crazier than everybody. But that
Gotcha.
ain't about getting no money.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? And any situation I pretty much had with Jay-Z and them, I was wrong.
Got you.
You know what I'm saying? I'm mature enough to look and say, you know what, Fat Joe was an asshole at that time.
Got you.
And that's it. That's what
Okay.
happened.
And I respect that.
And then, so now, fast forward 2017 to 2016, or 15, I start seeing Jay-Z, you know what I'm saying, at different events. And we was at Michael Jordan's party when it was All-Star here. He jumped out, gave me a hug. You know, we had never talked in years. Jumped out, gave me a hug. Everybody said, what's up? Boom. That was the breaking of the ice. Next thing I knew, we get all the way up. And
Well, was there conversation in between? Did you see Jay in
I
between these
seen him at
things?
the Hamptons, a couple of places. Beckhouse was always trying to be the peacemaker of the universe, because Beckhouse is Rock Nation and Terror Squad the whole time through a war. He never turned on us. He definitely ain't turned on them. And he'd be like, I tell them, I tell you, you guys would love each other. You know, I don't.
So to be honest, it was really just we're MCs making music at the same time in New York City.
That was personal. It was
Okay, it was more
It
personal.
was personal, and it was just personal.
That's good.
But now that you really reflect on it, it had a lot to do with entourages, with everybody, you know, having people, whatever. But we got Nori. I got Nori, because everybody got a knucklehead that across any border, any, you know, Nori's my knucklehead. You know what I'm saying? And Memphis Bleek is their knucklehead. You know, don't want to say it in that way, in a fun, loving way. So I said, yo, Nori, I know you cool with Memphis Bleek. Could you get him in touch with Jay-Z to see if he jump on the remix? Now, Memphis Bleek said, no.
No, there was no talking between you and him prior to this.
No,
Zero.
So Memphis Bleek was like, yo, I can't wait. I love, you know, we've been waiting. Let's do it. So then he calls Jay-Z. Jay-Z calls me back in 10 minutes. It was like, yo, I can't wait. Let's go. So I was like, oh, man, this is going to be, because as much as I try to front or act whatever, I always wanted to work with Jay-Z. You know what I'm saying?
What it was like to hear Fat Joe and Jay-Z on the same record?
You tell me what it was like, Flex.
First of all, you sent it to me.
You first in America.
I got it first, and I listened to it. And in my rush, I was in the room. I was rushing because I wanted to get the song on. But to hear that J verse, and then because we're checking to see if it's clean, and then hear you come in afterwards, and knowing that they plan to be on this together.
Yeah.
It was an amazing moment for music. It was amazing.
That's what it was.
It was amazing.
There you go.
Amazing.
And that's what that was.
It made me realize too what we were deprived of as well, because I was like, "This is real. We're just getting it now." And not that it's late, but there was probably a lot of other songs that would have happened. Yeah, but
And
it
that's how I felt.
it happens in time.
I felt like hip hop was gonna get robbed of Fat Joe and Jay-Z never making a song together. And so that's why when I had the remix and I knew it was just that hot, I said, we've been saying what's up, maybe this is the time for, so hip hop could actually hear Fat Joe and Jay-Z together. And then he's also Remy's favorite rapper.
I got some tidbits about that song, and I want to ask if they're true.
Okay.
Did anyone change a verse after hearing any verses?
Nah, not that nah.
Okay, all right.
No.
I mean,
If you ask me, Remy killed both of us on that remix.
I think it was even. That's just me, my personal.
I just, Remy went crazy.
I think it was even. That was me though. Cause I mean, who put their verse on that song?
I think we all did. Remy was last, but I think we all did. I mean, I never even got to hear it.
Did you hear his? He hear yours?
Cool and Dre got his verse. I think he put his verse on first.
And y'all heard that before y'all recorded?
No. Cool and Dre never let me hear his verse. He recorded the verse, but they never let me hear his verse.
I heard he did a few. I'm just telling you. I respect it. I heard Hov did a few verses.
I didn't get
which I respect. Because I'll be honest, I ain't gonna get on let y'all can't hurt me. These two Bronx guys. I'm gonna come on and do something here.
I want to prove that I was worthy enough to rap with the great Jay-Z.
You dug down with that verse.
I know. I got busy. I know I did. But you know how many people probably was like, yo, Fat Joe, Jay-Z. They probably was like, Joe can't hang with him. Joe can't this and that. I had to go in. You know what I'm saying? This hip hop. So I had to let them know. I didn't try to be better than Jay-Z. All I try to do was just prove to them, like, yo, B, I've been here 20 years too. I've been
nice
this
too.
Thing down. I'm nice too.
I'm nice too.
Y'all been sleeping on me for so long. I'm nice too.
Now knowing that Remy heard both of your verses before she laid hers.
She never heard the Jay-Z.
But she heard yours.
She heard mine.
So there's a level, it's up a level. Okay.
She didn't hear the Jay-Z.
Okay.
She was mad as hell. We don't even let Remy hear the albums and all that. We be like, yo,
how many records did you sell all the way up?
2 million.
God's good, man. Congratulations, my
God
brother.
Is great, man.
The Grammy, the nomination for the Grammy, the 2 million.
Yeah, man, it's a miracle, man. It was a miracle. It was great. A lot of hard work.
Fat Joe is the same person if he puts out a record and he sells 10 records or he says 2 million. I've never seen a difference in you in anything.
Can't be, because the job is, you got to know. It's an old cliche, but it's real. The same people you see coming up is the same people you see coming down.
So
you got to be able to go back home, Flex.
Now, the Rock Nation.
Honestly, I believe that I can move back into my projects today and be the same old Joe. No, I'm keeping it real. I can move into my projects. All right, it's Joe's house.
Let's get back to the action.
Yeah, this is Joe's house.
So, with the whole Rock Nation deal, did you and Jay have a conversation prior that this is something we're going to do?
What happened was I met Desiree, OG Juan's wife.
Club 2000, Desiree.
Club 2000.
Absolutely.
I didn't know her
Shout
from
to
Club 2000.
Okay.
I knew her from Rock Nation.
Got you.
From the management. So she brought me up there and started talking to me about Tidal and what Tidal does for the artists and what the streaming service does and this and this and that. Then I gave her some of my background and I found her very, very intelligent. And as I went up there, she was like, yo, did you ever know, do you know what our management does? And I said, no. And she brought in like publicity team, branding team, this and this and this and that. And while you looking at it, you saying to yourself, wow. Like, I paid my manager the same thing I paid them, and I got like homeboy management. These dudes got everything.
Mm-hmm.
So, we said, let's merge together. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do Rock Nation Management. It was one of the best decisions I ever made in my life, and I just started with them.
Okay. And so then you, Jay, have a conversation. You and Desiree have a conversation. You already know OG Juan. Move forward, and here you. And was there any point when you thought about it? Was it always from the jump? Did you have to go home and say, I don't know if I want to do this, or did you?
I'm
It was
good.
from the gate.
Flex, man, I never really do nothing that I got to second guess.
Mm-hmm.
And when I give out talk, I don't take it back.
Mm-hmm.
And the only talk I ever took back, since you know me in hip hop, was something that I had said on ESPN that I thought everybody knew.
Mm-hmm.
You know, regarding to like
Reggie Jackson.
Biggie,
Sorry.
Biggie and
Said about Reggie Jackson.
Jackson, boy, Biggie and Biggie and Anthony Mason and all that. And I said it because I thought everybody knew that.
In the industry.
Yeah, the whole industry knew, but
Industry
nobody
knew.
ever said it publicly. But I thought they did. But I said it in the show.
I feel like one of the Knicks were mad at you, right? What was it?
Oakley was
Oakley
mad.
was mad. Oakley
But
was
the
mad.
problem is, these are my legends. These are guys I look up to my whole life. I love Anthony Mason. I knew him before he passed away. Rest in peace. I was like, yo, I might have
Partier,
disrespected
right?
his family. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
so
got it,
that's
got
the only statement I have ever made in
Now-
20 years
now,
that I ever took back and said, yo, I'm wrong. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I'm wrong. Other than that, everything else I say is cool.
Now, I know you and 50 had also reconciled, but I want to go back a little bit because you did say something I didn't know. So towards the end of Terror Squad, Remy comes in and becomes Terror Squad,
Yeah.
right?
Pun discovered Remy.
How did he find Remy?
I don't know, man. She says he found her in somewhere around Soundview or something, and she rapped for him. The next day he went to her, called her, told her to come downstairs. She came and got in a big body gray Benz, and he told her, yo, you know how to braid hair? So she went and started braiding his hair,
Mm-hmm.
right? And he went down and he went to a video, and it was me, him, and J-Lo's video downtown. She was like, oh my God, I'm from the Bronx. These are the two biggest guys in the Bronx, and I'm at a J-Lo video.
This is it.
She couldn't believe it. This was it. Then he took me like 2 days later and had her rap. He was saying that's his artist. So when she rapped, I got so jealous. I was ice grilling her because she was killing it. I was like, and she said, she kept going because she was like, yo, this guy don't like me. Oh my God, this is my opportunity. He don't like me. So she kept going off. But she ain't know I loved her. I was just mad I ain't discover her.
Mm.
So then when we walked away, Pun told me, I know Twin. Don't worry. She gonna sign to you. Don't worry about it.
I respect that. I
he said
respect
she
that.
gonna sign to you. We gonna do this together. I was like, all right, bet.
You did.
I was like, thank God I had Pun and Remy. They the nicest in the game. She the nicest female in the game. He the nicest in the game.
So at this point, you didn't bring her to Atlantic, your Atlantic situation. You brought her Loud,
we
right?
brought her to Loud. We did the Terror Squad album. Right?
Lean back.
The Lean Back. And then from there we went and we brought her to Universal.
How much money? All right, I'm sorry.
I mean, she was pulling up on me every day with a different color Benz or Beamer. She kept pulling up on me with a different color Benz or Beamer and with duffel bags of money. Every day she'd be like, yo, stupid. I turn around, it'd be like 100,000 cash and she skirt off on me. She'll come back the next day, yo, what you want? You just kept. She was making so much money, like it was just so much money. I was making a lot of money too, but those was the days we was throwing it out.
So you meet Remy. Of course, you meet her through Pun. Son, so you do this project together a lot. So Pun makes money off of this project.
No,
as
Pun
well.
passed away with Lean Back.
So but when Remy gets signed, Pun's not. He passed already. But so then
away.
by the time Remy gets signed, she passed already.
Yeah, he had passed.
Okay. So now you gave her a deal, gave her opportunity. Everything's great. Now, similar to the other Terror Squad members, at some point, you know, Remy gets a little anxious and gets upset. Was that also from
Well,
Pun
we went
passing?
all out. No, we went all out. Nah, we went all out for Remy. What happened was she didn't realize that I was the middleman. So she had seen what I did with Pun, and she said like, yo, Joe, everything you ever told me happened. So I'm telling her, yo, because her album is a classic. We still play Casino, put your right hand up, put your, those is classics, B. The joint with Neil, we up in this room. That album was a classic. But these people at Universal was lying to me, telling me that they were going to promote the album. So every time she expressed concerns, I go in there and would meet with them. I'm just the middleman. So I'm like, yo, you going to press the button? You really going to get the record
So
on
Loud,
radio?
that's when Loud was through Universal. It wasn't through
Loud
RCA
was-
anymore.
Nah, it was through Universal.
Got
Steve
you.
had lost some power at that point.
Got
And
you.
he also was a middleman asking for permission. Prior to that, he
But
had
not
the
telling
budget.
us. But not telling us.
Not telling her either.
All right. And we love him.
So-
We love you, Steve.
No, I love him to death, but he couldn't tell me that. So I'm going to him. He's saying, yo, don't worry about it. I'm going to blow this up, this and that. So when the album come out, it didn't do too good. She turned on me.
She got upset.
She came up to the radio, was talking crazy, and
Rem, I
felt-
was mad at Rem. I know Rem was a little mad at me because I was mad. I was mad at her
I
too.
felt like someone, and I haven't said that since she came out of jail, but I felt like someone, not too much could hurt me, but when she did that, I was listening to the radio. I felt like someone stabbed me in my heart with a sword and just turned it because I had put so much of my life into Remy. You know what I'm saying? So she was with us since she was 17. She was with us for 5 years on the road. I never let a guy rap to Remy. I never let nobody disrespect her or anything like that. So when she did that really took me to another
Part of her
place.
beating you in the business, though.
Huh?
Part of it from her not understanding how
Nah,
the
she
music
tells
business
me now,
works.
she was like, yo, I thought I got mad at you because everything you ever said came true and you told me I was gonna blow up and I ain't blow up. So she went at me. She takes it back now.
I mean, she was big. She didn't get as big as Pun.
Yeah.
But she was
and
big.
sometimes everything
She was
people
big.
are different. People take different. Like Fat Joe started out, I might sold 10 records on Relativity.
Mm-hmm.
Then went to Atlantic and went gold. Then went to Loud and went platinum. Then it's a process.
How-
Not everybody just comes out and just becomes platinum or double platinum or triple platinum.
How long did you and Remy not speak?
We didn't speak for all those years.
Like 5, more than 5?
years, 6 years. Yup.
That's a long time.
Then
How did the two of you?
well, I don't know how she got my number, but one day I'm driving and I'm in Miami and the phone rings.
When she's still in jail?
She's still in jail.
Okay.
And the phone rings, it says, collect phone call, Reminisce Smith, whatever. So I pick up the phone and then she was like, yo. And I was like, yo. And then it stood like a minute of silence and she was like, yo. And I was like, yo. And I was like, yo, Ram, what's up? You calling me? What's going on, B? So and then she turned around and she was like, yo, my brother, I miss you. I love you. This. I was like, yo, Ram, I miss you. I love you. You're still the hottest female in the game. I know you could come out here and take over the game. You just got to be humble. You got to do your thing. You know, you can't do it's different.
Rem
now.
was aggressive. She's changed. She's
Way-
definitely, yeah, she's absolutely changed.
360.
Well, and you know what? I don't want to say change. Maybe more experienced and learn from the music, what the music business consists of and how
And a half
to.
years in jail to teach you to read some stuff and think about life.
Mm-hmm.
So she came home and she's a wife now. She's a businesswoman.
What did you feel? I mean, I know we don't talk about that a lot, but I was shocked when I heard that with Remy and the young girl and the situation and everything that happened at the time.
Well, I didn't know. I didn't know. I'm just so mad. I was so upset with Remy that I couldn't just.
You couldn't grasp
I
it.
could not be stubborn enough to go over there and figure it out. So I'd have figured that out
Better.
way better. I'd have figured it out. I'd have got her less time and all that. I would have figured it out.
Mm.
Like, yo, because, I'm realistic. I'd have just been like, yo, Rem, you got to sit up for 3 years rather than 7. We got to get you a cop out, something. The gun went off accidentally, but you really shot the girl. And the girl's an eyewitness saying you shot her. You know what I'm saying? You can't beat that for nothing. I don't know who was telling her to beat that.
So I don't even remember. So was she trying to beat? Was she went all the way? Trial.
Sucker dudes, the so-called gangsters went on the stand against Remy and all that. It was ugly, man. You know what I'm saying? So
I didn't even know. So it went off by accident. She didn't even mean to hurt her.
as far as I heard, it went off by accident.
Okay.
And she didn't mean to hurt her.
Okay. Have
That's
her
what she still tells me.
have her and that
So
girl
now,
been able
I've
to?
been pissy drunk with Remy, and she has asked me, and I told her, I never cut Cuban Link.
Mm.
20 years later, I'll tell her I never cut him. I never had nobody cut him. Drunk, pissy drunk, in my most vulnerable position, I would never do that.
Mm-hmm.
And me and her drunk in our most vulnerable position, she's like, yo, Joe, that gun went off by mistake.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it just went off. You know what I'm saying? And, you know,
What
it is
were
it
her?
is. It was an
Have
accident.
her and the young lady been able to?
Nah,
anything?
it's another one of those things with nothing you could do about it. You know what I'm saying? She got a problem for life with that because, you know, the young lady, you know, I don't know, man. They try to sue her every week. You know what I mean?
Still
making money, man. You know what I mean? So, you know,
got it.
this, you know, you never had a lifetime guarantee sewer on your hands? Like somebody you did business with that'll come around every 2 years and sue you? You ever had
Love
that?
Joe.
Yo, Flex. I get it all the time. I get
Yeah.
sued every year.
I'll be honest.
I
I
might
got
as well just hire lawyers like
couple
I'm
club
saying.
owners, couple promoters. You know, I remember there was one, a couple of
Serial
VA.
lawsuiters.
Oh yeah, it was always.
Serial lawsuiters. You know what I mean? It's people like that, man. They'll come and sue you every time. Like, yo, hello, you have money, I still don't. But remember one time 15 years ago you were connected to me? So I'll sue you again.
Yeah. so
It's amazing. The justice system is terrible.
so even with your conversation,
For real.
which I thought was different, was with you and Remy, yes, getting together, but I expected Fat Joe album, Remy album. I didn't expect Fat Joe Remy album. How did that
happened was
like
all
that
the way
get
up.
said?
I'm all the way up.
So
Then
when
all
that
the way
happened,
up.
then you said, "Let's do it this
Out of
way."
there. But we was gonna do an album together. So when All the Way Up was the first one we recorded. But we were gonna do an album together, and it's the hottest album on the streets,
Tight.
hands down.
Got a couple
And
hot ones on
if
it, like
you
6.
don't- Let me explain something to you. If you don't support this album, and you say you love hip hop, man, you're making a big mistake. It says a lot about you.
The spaghetti.
This thing is a classic.
What's
album.
the other one? The other one.
Spaghetti is crazy. Swear to
Oh
God.
God.
That joint with Dream gonna go #1. Money Showers is number 15 in the country right now.
Correct.
It's growing.
They liking
Just
that
keep
strip club.
going. What do you want me to do? It's phenomenal, the album. Go and support it. Go stream it. Go do whatever because you're lying to yourself.
Do you remember? I remember when I understood how big Joe was, because Pun was already out, and so I remember there was a period where Pun was getting so much attention that I'll be honest, I forgot about Fat Joe for a second, and I remember going to a show at Power 99, and you had the song with Puff, and
Don Cartagena.
it didn't hit here yet, and
It's a classic.
and Joe came out in that arena.
I don't lie.
I feel like Puff. I don't know why. I feel like he was there that day. I don't remember,
No, I
but
don't think I ever performed that one.
but you know, and Joe turned that arena upside down, and I think I was playing that day, and I kind of you reminded me because you were running through a couple of your classics, turning the place upside down. You reminded me of you know, there's Pun, but you know that you nice as well.
Oh, no, I'm super nice. Living legend, B.
I commend you for bringing.
Yo, what
I'm
you want me to
gonna
do?
tell you something you don't
And
get.
nobody, let me tell you
know what
something,
you don't
Flex.
get credit for.
How long? Go ahead.
I'm gonna tell you what you don't get credit for, because I wanna. I know I'm missing some other people, but I know I could say it in Fat Joe. You brought out Pun at a time where you weren't 100% stable or assured of your own career. Someone that was lyrically better than you, and that could have went another way. But a lot of artists don't do that.
A lot of men, a lot of people.
And a lot of people don't
Men
do
that
that.
got wives that sing and they purposely won't put them on because they
And-
don't want them to blow, stuff like that. There's a lot of people that have insecurity issues. Me, when the day you met me at the Apollo Theater and you seen the only Spanish dude to perform in Harlem in the amateur night
Nuts.
against 100 black guys and win, you should have knew I always bet
Yeah,
on myself,
I was-
bro.
I
I
was-
always bet on myself. So I always knew I had what it took. So when
Mm-hmm.
Pun passed away and everybody doubted me, I already knew, like, yo,
I
I'm going to put
didn't-
this
I
out
don't-
the park. A lot of people doubted me, Flex. A A lot of
I
people.
think people didn't know you, Joe. Outside looking in, but like you know,
They know I was coming back double plat on them. They didn't know I was gonna do that to them. Hey,
I knew you was gonna come out hot. Oh wait, you know you know what the rumor was. You know what the rumor was that you found Pun's rhyme book. You know that they say that.
Yeah, but I mean,
You know,
it's 20 years later.
Wait,
I'm still finding the black books.
Wait. I'm here. You know something? And this is something I've heard, and I see people complain about it. So I'm gonna ask you. People always say that on some of your albums that Pun was helping you with songs, and I think that's why. Because now that I
Pun
think about,
definitely taught me how to become better as a rapper, being around him. You understand? And taught me. And when I would write in front of Pun. I would write in front of Pun for 20 hours straight with a pad, and he'd be like, "Yo, you gotta talk about the girls right now. You can't get there." But it wasn't like Pun was writing my raps. And the problem is,
he gave you vision.
Listen, for the mythical people out there who want to say lies and myths, it's 17 years. It's so many years after, and I'm still putting out #1 hit records. And who's writing my raps now?
Yeah, absolutely.
So they've been trying to discredit me forever in my career. Like, yo, he ain't nice. If you threw up a beat now and I had a pen and a paper, I rhyme in front of everybody. Yeah, I write a rhyme anywhere. Like my rhyme category, I'm nice, Flex.
But you've heard that. You've heard
I've
that people
that through my whole career where people think
that Pun wrote for you.
Like, yeah, right. Well, hello. Like it's been a long time. Unless that rhyme book is as big as a Bible, they're very confused.
50 Cent.
My main man.
Hey, I'll be honest. I love.
What happened?
I love hearing you say it. I'll be honest. I do.
Main man.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
50 Cent.
I love it. I mean, you know what? It's never too late.
Never too.
It's never too late. I don't know. My first.
Happy birthday, Ja Rule. It's my brother Ja Rule's birthday.
Happy birthday to Ja Rule. I had maybe I was on 50's gram, and I feel like he posted something about All the Way Up, and he said Joe got one. Was that because that was my first that he was even that it was moving good together?
No.
Were you moving prior to that All the Way Up? Okay. How did
I shook his hand at the BET Awards after the Chris Lighty passed away.
Okay.
He was like, "Yo, Joe, it's just that's it." So when I give you,
was I there? I was DJing that thing.
I don't know if you was.
You guys performed. No?
We performed for Chris Lighty. So they tell
At
me
BT.
Yeah, so
Okay,
they tell
okay,
me they tell me come perform for Chris Lighty, Busta's gonna do it, Missy, Tribe Called Quest, and 50 Cent. I was like, all right. Somehow we do the practice run and I end up standing right next to 50. And he puts his hand out, he says, "Yo, peace for Chris Lighty. He wanted it. Peace." So I look at him and I'm like, looking at him like you looking at me. I'm like, what? This guy done violated me in every shape, way. So I'm running, a lot of stuff is running through my head, and I'm like, so when I shook his hand, that was it. You know, when I give you my word as a man that we ain't got no beef, I never go back on my word. Well, that was it. So after that, you know, it was like, you know, we sat down a couple of times and we was talking, and he was like, "Yo, man," and I'm glad we cool. And then I was like, "Yo, I'm glad we cool," and this and that. And he came to Miami, and I took him around. It was his birthday. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, you want me to tell you?
Yeah.
I threw him a party on a yacht, like a $50 million yacht
For Fifth?
for 50 Cent.
Get out
He
of
had
here.
him and his girlfriend. I had me and my wife, and we was riding in
Just
the
the
yacht.
four of you?
That's it. In a $50 million 4-story yacht, birthday cake out.
Just the four
balloons,
of you
just
guys.
The 4 of us.
That's dope.
And we was just up in there. He was like, "Yo, happy birthday, my brother." He was like, "Happy." And then, you know, it's like, you know, we're grown, man. You know what I'm saying?
And one of the few left standing. You know?
One of the few left standing. We grown. And I know it might give headaches to some of my other friends, such as, let's just throw the name out there, Irv Gotti.
And Ja.
Or Chris Gotti. But with Ja too. Like, I have a beautiful relationship with Chris Gotti, Irv Gotti, and Ja Rule. Them guys
They're
saved
good
my
people.
life. They're great people.
They're good people.
And when I needed someone more than anybody, when Pun passed, they gave me What's Love. And not only that, we're really friends. Chris Gotti was there when my daughter was born. And I hope they understand and forgive me for just saying, "Yo, I'm about peace, man."
Nothing
I'm
wrong with
mature
that.
now. I ain't got a problem with nobody. But am I loyal to them? I love them. Do I support them 1,000,000%? Yes, I do.
As you spoke about Ja, I want to share a story. You know, for me to get into the car game, Ja, when he was moving 5 to 10 million records, he did a pilot for me with the cars, and I took that pilot to Spike TV. And the fact that I could get Ja Rule,
Got you a deal.
biggest thing at the time, you know.
But you know they saved my life. When Big Pun died and everybody was sleeping on me,
Mhm.
I had only met Irv a week ago, a week before, 2 weeks before. And we bumped into each other by mistake in the studio, Battery Studio in Manhattan. And we talked all night from like 10 at night to like 7 in the morning. We was like, yo, we brothers. Like, we never even knew. We the same guy. Like, what's going on? So after Pun passed, I remember crying in the funeral. I was in the corner crying, and I looked up, and it was Ja Rule standing there. And I ain't really even know Ja like that. And Ja was like, yo, man, you know, condolences. And you know, God does things for reasons. You know what I'm saying? So I was looking down, I was crying, I looked up, and it was Ja Rule, and he was like, yo, man, condolences. I was like, wow, I don't even know this guy. He walked up in here like that. So maybe 3 weeks later, I'm laying in the crib, and they still got house phones, and my phone rings. And when the phone
The
rings,
house phone.
so the phone rings, and it's like, yo, what's up? Yo, it's me, it's Irv. Wake up. I'm like, yo, Irv, how you get my number, B? He was like, come to the Hit Factory, come to the sound, what was it, Hit Factory or Sound Factory? Hit Factory down on 54th Street. Come in Hit Factory, come in Hit Factory.
That's when him and Fifth slugged it out. I think.
Listen,
Okay, let's move on.
let's
Positive
move on,
vibes.
positive vibes.
Yes, sorry.
I turned around, and I went there, and it was Ja Rule and Irv.
Mhm.
And they pressed, he said, we got this for you, we made this for you. It was me and my wife.
Mhm.
And he pressed play, and it came on through, what's love got to do? So they was like, yo, you get J-Lo on the hook, and it's out of here. When I heard it, I was like, yo, it was a hit record the first time I heard it.
Mhm.
It was a hit without me.
Mhm.
So when I heard it, I was like, oh my God. And then Ashanti had did the reference. And I said, you know what, let's leave that girl on there. And they was like, nah, let's not leave that girl. Just get J-Lo, this and this and that. Because she was just the girl in the studio at the time, with all due respect. So then after that, they saw my confidence in her, and they start throwing her on songs, and then she become
Shanti.
the biggest star out there.
Mm.
So
Shanti
they
had
saved
it,
my life.
She had it in a chokehold out here for a
Yeah,
second.
she was selling half a million first week.
God bless.
She's probably the only artist. Anyway, I don't want to say that, but she was probably.
How many records did you sell with that record?
What's Love? We sold like 1.92, double platinum. Double platinum. I remember that album came out with What's Love.
Joe got more than 2 million. I'm not listening to him no more. That's how count these drinks. He got $1. But I'm not talking to him no more.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, there's more. Listen, we don't know who's listening. We're gonna move on.
Yo, listen, when you talk about money,
Mm-hmm.
I've maybe made 30, 40, 50 million in my life.
Mm-hmm.
But I spent a lot of money, Flex. I was moving around for 4 years straight in private planes every day.
Mm.
Those are $60,000, $70,000 flights. Every day.
More expensive then than now.
Three, four
You just
Bentleys. Did this.
Joe,
we've been living in mansions forever.
Joe, you just
man.
shot out 2 million records, independent.
No. Well, that was on the Atlantic.
This one that just came out. This one.
I got money, Flex. What are you asking me?
Yeah,
I paid.
Yeah, but
you
you
talking
shot. You just shot out 2 million songs, independent on your own label.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
On me and Remy's label. She's my business partner.
Oh, I love it. You guys are out here caking.
She's my business partner.
Mm.
She's not my artist.
The business partner.
My business partner.
That's the way it moves.
Boss. That's how it goes now. I learned a lot
Now,
in life
Fat
about.
Joe,
Mhm.
your business partner just shot out a 6-minute destroying 7 devastating song to Nicki Minaj. Did you think I was not going to ask you about that today? Were you trying to pack up?
Well, me personally,
Was he leaving?
All right. What do you want to ask?
I want to
Now, the question
ask a
is-
few things. How did this come about, do you believe, between Remy
He's rubbing the head.
and Nicki Minaj?
Huh?
How did this come about that the end result ended up in a 7-minute song that was,
Now,
a battle
now,
bars?
If I say what I really believe, then I'm gonna get bashed by all the women in America.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like a lot women don't get along, man, and they
Okay,
all want
but-
to be the one. They all want to be the one. That's just the only way I could look at it, because they just don't. And
Fellas a little cooler about it, but we kind of want it, but we go about it different.
different, I guess. They want to be the one, and Remy been chilling, man. Remy been doing Black Love. Remy been chilling with her husband. She been minding
to
her
Papoose.
business. She's been, complying with parole. She ain't really been bothering. And Remy, like she said, if she was talking about somebody, she would mention them. So she's battling every girl. She's battling the little girl from Texas trying to come up rapping. She's just spitting at everybody saying she the best all over the place. She don't care. But she said, I wasn't talking about this girl. You understand what I'm saying? Now, I personally have a lot of problems. I want to be clear, say my sister's the best female rapper on the planet Earth, as we know now.
As of
This is a unanimous
as of a
decision.
few days ago.
It's a
yes.
unanimous decision.
Yes,
She
I'm
is
going on that.
The
I'm with
best
you there.
female rapper on earth. That's hands down.
Yes, someone got
We
hurt.
can
Someone
talk
got
about
hurt.
that.
Yes, there
No,
was,
we
there
got.
was a
Stop trying
casualty.
to turn it into. I'm trying to just periodly say my sister's the best. Right?
I agree with you.
She's
Joe.
the
I
queen
agree
of
with
rap.
you. Yes,
Now-
queen of rap. I agree.
She's the queen of rap, queen of hip hop, queen of rap, whatever. it is.
Yes.
She purposely was telling people. We had did an interview maybe 2 days before
Breakfast Club.
before she got dissed.
Uh-huh.
And she was like, yo,
Not
if
her.
I had a problem, it wouldn't be me. I wouldn't do that. I don't have no problem with nobody. In fact, we might even make a song together one day. It was that much.
Mm-hmm.
And then next thing you know, 2 songs come out. The Gucci song
Mm-hmm.
and another song come out. They were labeled the Remy Diss.
Yes, I heard that as
So
well.
now-
behind the
it
scenes.
was labeled. It was labeled.
Yeah, they
So
were
now when
running
they
around
went,
saying that.
when they was running around, did you hear
I
that?
heard that as well. I heard it. I heard it from 3 or 4 people that when they were shooting the video and getting ready to shoot the video, that's what they were calling it. I heard that. Yes,
You concur.
I concur with you.
I heard the same thing you heard. So now let me
Okay.
leave that alone and just say that even at that, I told Remy, get your money. Don't worry about nobody. Don't worry about this and this and that.
Mhm.
Right? And she was like, yo, Joe, whatever. And I was just like, yo, get your money, man. You getting money, you doing your thing. Don't worry about no nothing like that. So I'm in Vegas. I do a show in Dreas. Shout out to Dreas. I got residency there. But I do a show in Dreas.
Paper.
And I get back. I spend the night. Stop. I spend the night. And the next thing you know, I never turned off my phone. My phone was off. So when I turned it on, it was 10,000 phone calls in a row.
Joe, I think you're skipping a part.
What's that? Skipping that.
I think you're skipping a part.
Tell me.
All the way, all the way up,
Mm-hmm.
all the way up in original. I felt like I
She was competing with everybody,
but
but it wasn't specifically.
I agree.
Nicki Minaj.
Yes.
No, she was competing
agree.
with everybody.
But-
Sounded like she was competing with her because the girl. Let me tell you something.
No,
The girl, Remy Ma. Remy Ma. Let me tell you
Let me
something.
first go to. I
Remy Ma, we
understand what you
talking too
did.
much. You the only one get me talk like this.
No.
Flex. Let me explain something to you. Remy Ma was the best female rapper of the year for 2 years straight. She
Mhm.
went to prison for 7 years. The other girl had this whole slot.
Correct.
Damn, Flex, you gonna make me? I don't want to comment on this like that. Like,
Yeah,
I don't wanna
but
go there.
wait, but
I don't want to go there like
no,
that.
she had it for 6-7 years, untested.
And was bullying.
Untested.
Was bullying the great Little Kim. Was bullying.
I agree.
A bunch of girls was bullying them.
I agree.
Bullying,
I agree.
right?
But
And
but
then- she was bullying
But
them.
Joe,
Hold up.
Nicki Minaj is, and I just want to defend a little. Just let me present. It's a city where there's not a lot of great there's a few. The girl rappers that exist in New York
That's
are
another
iconic.
thing.
They're
That's another-
iconic.
That's another thing. We gotta rep the city, Flex.
Yeah, but wait. They're iconic.
No,
so
Flex,
you know,
Flex.
but
you hit a great point.
wait, they're iconic. So
We have
Nicki,
to represent
Nicki,
the city.
But
we have to represent the
yes.
city.
But Nicki,
I don't understand. I
Nicki
don't
did
know.
come into a place where you had Foxy Brown and Remy and you had Little Kim, iconic female rappers, right? I mean, yes, I do feel it was some bullying. I do feel it was partial new rapper. I'm trying to prove myself.
No, it's cool.
Right?
What I'm saying is, then that same behavior pattern leaked over to these disses. That
Yes.
Same. I could say whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And
But-
she
but-
just
but
went at the
now-
Raging Bull.
Now, Joe, I do feel like, and I like the way it went down. I want to say that outside looking in as a person, I like music. Remy was locked up for 6 or 7 years, and in that time, Nicki did become queen. Now, me, because I like to compete, and I love competition, and I want it.
You're Leo.
I assumed that if I was Nicki, that Remy is maybe not coming out to attack me, but she's coming out gonna claim.
Well,
Well,
it's a Cassius Clay right now.
yeah,
Right now, it's a Cassius
absolutely.
Clay.
That's what I'm trying to get at. Now she
No,
going.
right now it's a Cassius Clay.
Oh, but
when your man Muhammad was like, "Yo, this ain't nobody beat me for this belt."
wait, okay, but here's the thing. I do feel
Cassius Clay.
I'm gonna disagree. I feel Remy. I feel Remy. I don't want to say
For what?
I don't feel she started it, but I felt like at some point Nicki was left no choice, because you know what that is. If somebody keeps coming to the basketball court where you dunk the ball a lot and keep saying that I'm nice, I'm me,
I'll explain something to you.
they was gonna bump heads.
I explain something to you.
They was gonna bump heads.
I explain
Art of
something to you.
competition.
I explain something to you.
They both wasn't gonna.
Am
They
I
both
cool,
weren't.
Am I cool with Jay-Z?
Yes.
Am I cool with 50 Cent?
Yes.
One picture. If Nicki Minaj would have said, "Yo, Rem, let's have lunch," and took a picture with her, nobody would have ever had these problems. These problems were premeditated, bro. This whole thing was like, oh, it's gonna go down. Sooner or later, it's gonna go down. We gonna wait for the right time.
I wouldn't have
It's gonna
waited
go
for
down.
Remy to get me. If, me being competitive, and if I was Nicki, I wouldn't have waited for Remy to get 10 bars of hotness. I would have stepped my own game up. Nicki should have stepped her own game up and made some really good hot records, so that her weight was up, because the bar is raising up with what Remy's putting out. And she smelled Nicki wasn't up for it. Nicki was not up for it.
I don't think so.
I knew after 3 Sublims.
I didn't
I
know
knew after 3 Sublims, Nicki wasn't up for it with Remy. I knew.
Well, you knew that.
I knew.
I didn't know that. Fact, we wasn't thinking about that. Let's get back to we not thinking about that. We put out an album, Plato Plomo. We ain't minding our business.
Yes.
She's getting her Black Love money. I'm getting Fat Joe money. We coming back. We lost a lot of money.
You know
we
how
trying
I
to
know
get
what?
our
You know
money
what?
back.
You know how I know that that's what Remy did. You want to know why I know?
So you telling me?
I'm gonna tell you why. Because I used that tactic.
Well, that's you. That's not Remy.
Yeah, I used that.
Remy was minding her business, being the mother.
I do feel she was running her
Black
business.
love.
But let me ask you something.
That's what's worse.
I didn't think we were going to be here in 2017 and there was going to be 2 people out of New York, females, and we're going to just say they're both good. That wasn't going to happen, Joe. I knew that.
What do you mean?
We weren't going to sit here 2017 and to be 2 girls
They could've
out
made
of
songs
New
together.
York.
They could have made songs
I
together.
never
They
seen
could
it.
have been. They could have made songs together. They could have eliminated. This ain't had to be
I
no
mean,
battle. This
Nicki
ain't had to
would've
be none.
Nicki would have
Listen
had
me,
to
brother.
bow down for the bars.
Oh, she would have just said, "Yo, they could have did songs. They could have got along, bro. It doesn't have to be one. It's just. It's like the Puerto Rican kid that's in Camden, New Jersey right now who's saying, "Fat Joe don't let me get on, B. He's in my way. He don't want us to get on. He don't want to get."
I don't think she didn't
No,
want her to get on.
All right,
I don't think
you know,
Remy didn't
listen.
want her to get on.
I didn't say that, but what I'm saying to you is that she didn't. Look, there's room for 1,000 female rappers, 1,000 of them. They just gotta make hits. Flex.
Listen.
Flex. They gotta.
Nicki
make
wasn't
hits.
holding the crown right. Nicki wasn't
You
tested.
saying all that.
I'm being you don't have to. I'm gonna say it.
I'm not saying all
I'm gonna
that.
say it. I'm gonna say
My
it.
approach.
She wasn't holding the crown, right? She wasn't really a battle tested. She wasn't battle tested, and this was either going to be sink or swim. It was going to be, I'm going to get tested, and either I'm going to handle it, I'm not going to handle it.
She had to come with it. If you're gonna be throwing out records calling it the Remy diss.
And if you're claiming queen, if you're claiming queen,
Listen, if you're gonna throw out records called the Remy diss,
Mm-hmm.
because trust me, for all the delusional barbs or whatever, just know there was a record thrown out called the Remy diss.
absolutely. And that was
Record
the one on
label-
Gucci. Was it the one with Gucci?
Man, and the record label was promoting it as such.
Answering Remy, absolutely. Or I'm sorry.
No, not answering.
Not answering, not
The
answering.
Remy diss. Now,
All the way up.
Mm-hmm.
If I was Nicki, would have made me feel away. It would have. And I've been holding down something for 6 summers, and I'm the dude that, and I've been hot in that time.
she should have thrown
No.
out a record.
See, now I agree with you.
No, just put out a record.
That's what I think should have happened.
Put out a record.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
What you saying, that no other female could get high?
No,
like
no,
right
no.
now, this girl behind the camera
No,
can't make a
I'm
record
saying-
get high, and we
no,
can't
but
support.
no,
Young
she
and
get-
May was
all-
ripping too.
no, yes, but
What are you
all
talking
all
about?
I'm
That's another
saying is,
female.
all I'm saying is, I do believe that when All the Way came up,
So
she was
what?
talking about Remy, and I feel like Nicki should have put out a record there, not a diss record, a hot record.
How much I want to?
She lost then.
I don't want to sound crazy.
She lost that.
Listen, I don't want to sound crazy to you. If Nicki Minaj would have jumped on the remix, it wouldn't have been like I don't get what's going on.
Yeah,
here. It
yeah.
didn't have to be.
People were, you know
and
what?
me.
You're right. I'm gonna tell you
No,
something.
Flex.
People were asking
Didn't
for
I do
that.
a
Yeah,
song
yeah,
with
yeah, yeah.
Jay-Z?
Yeah.
Do you understand?
People were asking for
No,
Nicki
bro.
Minaj to
No,
jump on
bro.
that record.
I don't know
with her.
what people think or what people got in their minds. Or I started this whole thing saying that I'm losing all my female fans saying that they just can't get along with girls. Because I don't know. I don't know why. If you ask me, I know Remy Ma. Remy Ma been minding her business, bro.
Yes, she has. She's been minding her business.
Been minding her business. She been cool. She ain't been starting with nobody. She ain't talking ill of the girl. She ain't do none of that.
But Remy has stepped up her bar game.
Remy always been the best.
But it's higher.
No.
It's
No,
higher.
no.
To me, it is.
No, Flex. Remy has always been the best.
Always
Please
been
don't
the-
try to get me. You trying to
No,
get me?
no,
into
no,
this
no, I don't-
conversation
no, I don't
back
want
and
you.
forth.
No, no.
I don't want to go there.
No,
with
no,
you.
no, wait.
Remy has always been the
Wait,
best.
Remy has always been the best bar wise, and I do believe that since she came out, she's gotten better. That's
course.
I really do believe that.
That's how it should be. But what I'm saying to you
And I
is,
think, and look, that's gonna be scary to some rappers, Joe. But I'm saying, Joe, that's gonna be scary.
talk about this.
That's gonna be
This female
scary.
Stuff. Yo, Flex, listen.
gonna be scary
It's
to
two
some
female-
people.
Keep this in this interview. Flex, it's 2 females. I'd rather Remy and her address it in detail. Man, you could sit on a corner drinking beer and
Nah,
talk
we-
about this.
but people
But
wanna
listen to
know.
what I'm saying. Nah, they could know whatever they want to know. My thing to you is, it's 2 females going at each other. Whatever happens. The truth is, at least I believe no one will get physically hurt in this battle.
Nah, it's not that.
Right?
It's
So-
a good bar battle. I love it. This is about bars here and music.
Yeah, but
It's
I don't-
clean. It's clean.
I
It's no
haven't-
below the belt.
I haven't heard a response, so I don't know what battle we talking about.
Yo, Joe, I did my homework. I want me to keep it 100. I did my homework. There ain't no response. I'll keep it 100. I've done. Doug spoke to.
What you thought about? What you think about that?
I think that's a bad move. Number one, I think it's a bad move career wise. I think it's bad for hip hop. I think that for me now, and look, she's gonna be mad at me at what I say, but she's already mad at me.
Man, there's a lot of
I
people.
question. I didn't. You know what? I'm gonna be honest. What I didn't like.
And let
she
me
was
be
calling
clear.
a lot
Let
of
me-
people.
let me
She
be
was calling
clear.
a lot of people
Let me
behind
be
the
clear.
scenes.
Save
I'll
that
be
right
honest.
there. I don't know Nicki Minaj.
Yes.
I don't care about Nicki.
You know,
Minaj.
I was disappointed. I was disappointed
I'm
in
being
her.
honest with you. I don't know. I don't care. I don't want no relationship. It ain't no politics. It ain't nothing with me and this girl.
I was disappointed in her calling people behind the scenes. I was. I'm gonna be honest with you. You know why? Because I tell you why that disappointed me. Because I'm a firm believer if you claim queen or you claim king, these things come, and
Let
with
me
it
ask you
you
a
get
question.
tested. And
Let me
I
ask
didn't
you a
like
question,
that. I
Flex.
thought that was
Do
bad.
you think people care about what we say?
Yeah.
Do you think
Yeah.
even care what we say?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, there's a level of people that become what they call the upper echelon. They look down at people and they think that whatever you say really don't even matter to them or don't care that, you know. And this is one of them times in life where the common folk speaks.
Yeah.
And that's just
This
the
is
way
big.
it goes. Oh no, this is hip hop history.
This is big.
If there's no response, it's even worse, to be honest with
Yeah.
you.
If there's no response,
Because
isn't
this is
good.
hip hop history.
This is no response.
Now, let me
I
be
knew
clear.
there wasn't a.
Now, let me be
I knew there
clear.
wasn't going to be a
Now,
response.
let
If
me
you're
be
tweeting
clear.
and
Let me
upset
be
and
clear.
talking people behind
My
the
sister
scenes.
was the best. My sister was the best rapping.
Mhm.
Right? My sister always been the best rapping. But I'm going to be clear. I had somebody in front of Remy, Lauryn Hill. I had never said this publicly. I never said this to Remy or nothing like that. In my head, I always thought, look, Lauryn Hill was the best female rapper. Then Remy was right behind her.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's ever been touched the mic better than Remy Ma after
No.
this.
No.
This is hip hop history.
And I want to be honest. I was not 100% convinced until that 7 minutes came out. But my nigga, I was, yo, man, come on, we gotta talk real rap shit, my
want me to
nigga.
do?
I'll be honest. I didn't
yo.
think, I knew there was no coming back. I knew that this was a death blow. I knew it was, because I was like, I don't know where it's gonna start, where it's gonna end. You know something? A record like that, New York, if you're a rapper and you hear a record and a rapper talking about you like that, coming from the soul and the gut, your first thing is to crumple into the corner. The question is, are you gonna uncrumple out of that corner? That's really what the thing is. Cause look, you're crumpling. I don't care if you're Jay-Z. I don't care if you're fucking LL, Fat Joe. You're good. That first 3 minutes, you crumble. And then the question is, what do you do after that crumble decides who the fuck you are and if you are what you say you are. That's what I feel. And no response. I mean, I thought
I've never heard of a no response in rap music. Joe Flex.
No, I haven't.
Let me ask you something.
I'm gonna tell you. Let me tell you what she's saying. I'm gonna tell you what she said. Because I got it. I got it.
me
You can
ask
say
you a
I'm
question.
gossiping. You can say I'm teeing or whatever. I heard at her video shoot. I heard at her video. She said, "I'm not even gonna respond to her. Like she's not even worthy of a response." That's what I heard. That's what I heard. She said. And when I first heard that, I told the person who told me that, nigga, she's making a fucking mistake. Because that's not where the game's at. The game's at bars. You claim queen. If you claim queen and you get tested, you're supposed to either show and prove, hold your crown. Look,
I really don't care. Me personally, I don't care if she responds.
it's over anyway.
It's a done deal, bro. This is
She got done off.
It's a done deal. Don't make me say she got done off. Let me just say, yo, Flex, don't do that. Let the people decide. Man.
Well, you're not saying, don't make me say it.
Hey, yo, Flex. Yo, Flex, listen. Don't make me say that. Nah.
Bronx shit.
Nah, because I might have a dude with a rainbow wig trying to beat me up, a barb, man. There got to be some cock diesel barbs.
You know that
in
chicken
there.
wing shit was funny, bro.
Yo, let me tell you something.
The
I'm not
chicken
talking
wing
about
with the
nothing.
chick- Look,
I'm
look,
not
look.
saying that.
Look, I almost
But, yo,
roped him in.
could the-
Almost
listen,
got him.
Listen, could the barb stop threatening me, man? I put up a picture of my sneakers. Those is whack, you fat. I'll kill you. They won't stop calling Papoose. They won't. No, I swear to God, we're gonna kill you. He said he feel like Malcolm X right now. Yeah, he feel like Malcolm X.
Yo, and they whisper. They whisper. Oh, we hate you. We're gonna kill you. We're gonna kill you. You wait till something drops. But I'm gonna be honest. I look at them tweets, and I look at it. Y'all steam ain't the same steam like the way y'all was talking 5 years ago. You're poking out every 10 tweets. She's gonna drop something, and they hide and they come back. I love a good battle. I'm about bars. Yo, look. If we hear something that's dope and she drops something, Fat Joe's the lyricist. He'll be the first one to say it's dope. I'll be the first one to say it's dope. If it's
Yeah, there's
dope,
nothing you could do. Hip hop is hip hop.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Hip hop is hip hop. There's nothing you could do. If she drops something dope, she drops something dope. I do believe that there's a timing issue.
Oh, absolutely. Time's up, my nigga. No. You know, tomorrow, which is Thursday, That's it. I gave it 40.
This is like 2 weeks, bro.
No, but the Thursday, tomorrow. And
I was in the airport of Detroit yesterday. This white lady walked by. She was like 50 years old. She was like, she got to midnight, Joe. She got to midnight.
No, you cannot walk the street without people bombarding about this subject.
Lady, miss, if you listening, you know I'm talking about you. She was from Atlanta. She walked by. She got to midnight, Joe. Tell your sister she got the midnight. I'm like, oh my God.
People say to me, keep it a buck. What you think? You know, man, no response. I mean, it's over. Game over.
No, it's a done deal.
Got done off.
I'm not saying that. You saying that. All I continue to say, and I hold my position is,
he said, "I
my
hope
sister's the best in the game."
She is. She's officially holds the queen
queen
crown.
of rap. That's it. I don't care, man. You don't.
And well earned. Well earned, my brother. Well earned. She earned it. Didn't get given to her. She earned it.
7 years. Who does 7
I'll
years
be honest.
in jail?
How long has she been out?
About 2 years.
It's the two. This two
2.
is what took it. This two, like the come out, because a lot of people come out and get complacent and think because they did the time they're golden.
All right, no, but let me explain something to you, and then you bring that up, right? No response. No response, right? Nah, your flex. Yo, you keep spitting at me, man.
Sorry, nigga.
Your flex. This is the 10th time, bro.
Sorry, Joe.
Thank God I know you clean or
I
something,
spit on
man.
Joe.
This-
Sorry, man.
10
Sorry.
times. Listen.
Sorry, my nigga. Sorry.
Explain something to you.
That's the
Flex.
promo.
And let me explain something to you. Let me tell you something. All right. No response. Right?
Yeah,
yo,
All right,
stop.
all right.
'Cause you trying to make it look like I'm trying to amp something
No,
up.
I'm not. I swear to God, I'm not.
I'm being a nice guy.
You was at
Listen,
no
it's
response.
2 females, exactly.
No response.
No response, right?
Yes.
So when them BET Awards come around, I want everybody to pay a good attention to who wins Female Rapper of the Year.
Key.
I want everybody, if they get anything from this interview, is the only female I seen rocking for the last year.
2.
Remy Ma, double plat, nominated.
Mm-hmm.
She got no response. She got this. Let's really watch that award, man.
Mm-hmm. How's it gonna go?
Yeah, it'll tell a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It'll tell a lot.
Tell what it is.
But, you know, it'll tell a lot, man. That's it. That's all I want to look at. Because I already, before, I didn't need no battle to know who was the hottest female of this year. Did you need a all right, so what other records? Tell me, what other records?
There was hot records.
What?
There was hot. No. What? Look.
No, hold on.
Young M.A. had a hot one. Young M.A. had a hot one. Remy had a hot one. But, you know, you gotta remember.
No.
This is my first. This is me. See, Joe.
Flex, I quit.
No, wait. You saying before?
No, now.
Oh, now. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm saying right now.
This second, today.
No. Forget the battle. Forget the battle. This last year, 2016, who was the hottest female in the game? Who had hits? Who been on that box?
Okay, no, wait.
Who been on? Wait a minute. Who been asked to be on all the?
I
Hold up. Who?
Nah, I do
was
think
the
so,
hottest?
but
All right, who then?
But I think Young M.A. was hot too. I think Young M.A. was very hot too.
Young M.A. You're not saying her, Young M.A. and
No, I'm not saying Young M.A. and Nicki Minaj. No, it was Young
and
M.A.
no records from
No,
Nicki Minaj.
no, it was just Young M.A. and Remy. That's all I saw.
Right, so then somebody might win. But what I'm saying to you is that let's be clear, it wasn't even a contest this year.
Yeah, but this is my first time seeing Remy in
All right,
full
but that's
battle
cool.
gear.
This is without a battle. By the way, that record
there was no response.
That record
Oh,
she
sorry,
put out
brother.
went #1 in America right now on iTunes. Universal pulled it down saying that they won't clear the master or something.
Sony?
Remy was going #1 in America.
They didn't
with
clear that.
This song right here. So they ain't clear it because, you know, it's a political. I mean, we trying to get it back on iTunes, but it was
It was
#1 in
moving.
America. #1.
And independent.
Independent, #1 in America. But you know the major, you know they play the game.
Yeah, but
It was going #1 in the big chart, not even rap. It was going #1
it was
in
moving.
country and
It was coming out. It's still coming out the cars, bro. Everything.
Oh no, it's the biggest record in the country. But I'm saying, it was actually #1.
I was surprised on how many talk shows and how many sports people and
Hip-hop
Bleacher
culture.
Report. Like
Hip hop
did
culture.
you see the Bleacher Report meme?
Listen.
Did you see that meme when them on the basketball court? The video?
Flex, we have an album. It's called Plata o Plomo.
I
Go
want
play
to.
yourself and go get the album.
I want.